The legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Welcome everyone to AMD Ryzen and Windows 11 present the Esports Club Challenger Series powered by Crucial with our broadcast partner Loco. I'm CCB joined alongside Zach, and today we are bringing to you the final set of matches that we have in the first qualifier to determine which will be the next two teams moving on forward into the group stages starting later this month. We have skimmed through hundreds and hundreds of teams. Over 1,000 players have registered, and now we're down to just single digits. And today, two more teams will be eliminating. We have a best of three right now, and we have a best of three later in the day. But Zach, for the matchup in our hands right away, we've got Reckoning Esports up against True Rippers. Best of three. What are your expectations, and how are you feeling?
I mean, this is the quarterfinals, and whoever wins this, they are gonna have one more match before which, after which they will qualify. And I believe that the winner of this particular match, they're gonna be going up against Revenant Esports. So they do know who they're going up against next. Their path to qualifying for that group stage is clear, and I think both of these teams, they're not exactly new on the scene. Both True Rippers and Reckoning, they've played against each other a lot before, and it's always been a very 50-50 bouncing back kind of thing. Like in the last few engagements, perhaps Reckoning has found the better of True Rippers, but True Rippers, they've made quite a few roster changes in their lineup in the last month or two. So I think that we might be seeing perhaps an upset coming in today. Sorry, we might be seeing an upset coming in today, and especially I'm excited to see how Ember and Sai are going to be performing because Sai is a player that you're used to seeing on that jet, but I think that for the side of True Rippers, he's been picking up that initiator role, that Sova in particular, more and more, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he's going to be performing, in that particular role, and how Ember is going to fit into this particular lineup as well, because we've seen him on Revenant being one of the most consistent players, but so far it seems like he's having a little bit of trouble slotting in.
That is true, yeah. From the side of True Rippers, their consistency with regards to their compositions and the player performances as well is going to be a big question heading into the best of three. But all of those questions will be answered very shortly. And then later in the day, of course, we've got Lethal Esports against QQQ. Now, both of these teams, they took their victories in the round of 16s on the map of Pearl. Both of these teams in South Asia for the very first time they played Pearl. Lethal, they ended up taking the win over F7 Esports 13-2, pretty one-sided, a whitewash in a way or so. And now they've moved on. QQQ, after defeating Augless in a nail-biting, triple overtime map, 16-14 favoring them. They finally had closed the map for themselves. They are now moving forward. It's going to be a best of three this time. I have expectations. We may go to Pearl again. And if we do, as the decider map, Lethal against QQQ on Pearl is going to be the best way for one of these teams to move on forward into the semifinals to try and etch their name into the group stages alongside the best other teams we have in the region. But enough about the second match we have. Coming back to the match at hand, Zach, you've talked about True Rippers, Reckoning's performances as well. Their roster, the core roster, it's remained pretty much the same for a long amount of time, a lengthy amount of time. And their performances as well, they've been on the up and up. They've had their downs, of course, like any team does, but they're looking stronger than ever heading into this matchup. And the map veto as well, overall, things are looking in favor of them, but you can never, ever count True Rippers out, no matter what exactly their roster is, no matter who are playing in it. True Rippers are eyeing for that prize, just like every single team participating here. Every single team wants to take a share out of the 15 lakh prize pool that we have to offer. The winners of the Challenger Series, they'll be receiving 7 lakh and 50,000. The runners up, 4 lakh to their name, and the team finishing in third, 2 lakh 50,000. Not to mention my favorite prize of them all. It may not be the highest amount of prize, but it definitely carries a lot of weight with the name, the most valuable player of the Challenger Series. Only a single player out of thousands will be receiving this reward, and I definitely can say that they'll be very much deserving of it. But of course, all of these prizes, they'll be figured out in the teams, the winners, all of that will be taking place during the LAN event that we have, the Esports Club Arena, same time next month. I mean, today, 14th of July, exactly 30 days from now, on the 14th of August, pretty much at this very time, we'd be seeing the grand finals taking place. and we can see the structure and the schedule of the Challenger Series as well. We have the online qualifier stages. Qualifier 1 is about to come to an end. Today is the penultimate day. Tomorrow, we'll decide which will be the two teams moving to the group stages. Qualifier 2 begins very shortly. We'll have our group stages as well, where we'll have our four qualified teams alongside the four invited teams who have a predetermined spot in the group stages.
Mm.
And out of them, the top 50%, they'll be moving on to the arena.
I gotta say, I love this format because you do have those giants of the scene, the tier one teams that have been performing time and
Yeah.
time again, and holding our spot in South Asia. Of course, we all know who we're talking about. We're talking about Global, Enigma, and of course VLT. I think I know who the fourth team is, but I'm not gonna jinx it and say it out loud. But apart from that, I like that there are two qualifiers here that will give another four teams per qualifier a chance to make it to that group stage. So
Hmm.
that's gonna be pretty huge, and I think that's gonna be like really important because it gives teams that are up and coming a chance to really qualify, and they're not just it's not just based upon past history. It's based upon current performance as well. And I think I
Yes.
personally I really love this format, and of course, like you mentioned, it's a LAN event, and I love LAN events. The last few that I've been to, the energy has been searing. It's amazing to see like fans of teams as well as the organizations themselves like really cheering for their teams and being super enthusiastic about it in the process. So that's an environment which definitely it sets the adrenaline running, and that's fantastic to see. But back to today's match, Stuart versus Reckoning. These two are old foes, and every single time they face off, it's always a banger of a match. Like it's a very rarely a 2-0 or a best of 3, and even if it is, usually at least one of the maps goes to overtime. And I believe that we do have the map heroes for today, and looking at them, I think all of the maps are going to be pretty interesting, because I believe that the maps are going to be Ascent, Icebox, and Haven. So Ascent, that's
Yeah.
going to be picked by True Rippers. It is one of their strongest maps, but RG, they've slowly improved on it. They're willing to try new agents, and especially since Fade came out, we're used to seeing Rio on just the Sova role, but he's been willing to adapt and pick that other initiator up. And they also do run the KO on Hutch. So it's definitely an interesting map for the side of Reckoning. It could go in their way if they play their cards right. And yeah, it's an interesting map either way. But Icebox, this is
Absolutely.
the dominion of True Rippers. It's a map that they very rarely lose.
Yeah, for the side of True Rippers, Icebox has been selected not by themselves, but rather by Reckoning. And it goes to show that Reckoning themselves are planning a couple of things. Now, honestly, for me, I think the biggest factor is going to be the recent changes to the agents that we have seen. Particularly, the one agent I want to talk about is going to be KO being used, because there is a strong possibility. And I mean, on Ascent, there is like a 95% probability we will be seeing the KO from one of these rosters. Just too potent of an agent, too useful, such practical applications with almost all of his utility that can be utilized by these rosters. Not to mention the new changes that have taken place to that very fragment, the fact that it can damage players and utility from beyond the walls. You don't have to see through line of sight. That will be the particular weakness of every single Killjoy main out there, primarily on Ascent, which is why I'm highlighting them. Are we going to see a Killjoy? There is a likelihood of that happening. We may also expect Chambers to come out. That very much is dependent on the players and the compositions they run. For Reckoning Esports, one of their most used compositions, it does incorporate the KJ. She does possess a very high play rate. But for the side of True Rippers as well, do they want to take that risk, or are they looking to play with the Chamber? Or potentially, there's a a very little chance of that happening, but a Cypher can be brought out, although Cypher has been seeing diminishing and even more diminishing market returns in this day and age with the amount of usage he's getting.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Cypher and Ascent in the last like 4 or 5 patches. It's been so long
Hmm.
since I've seen him getting any kind of action. But like you mentioned, that new patch update where KO got a buff, the fact that his fragment is capable of breaking that Killjoy ultimate, it's gonna make so much trouble, because one of the most common side takes, especially on that B side, you see where the lockdown is invested near the orb, the ultimate orb, and the team just goes in off the back of that. That's not gonna be viable at all, because if there is a KO on side, all he has to do is really toss it down at his feet, and that's going to be the lockdown
Hmm.
broken by about, I think, a 200 credit ability. So that's pretty insane. I think that for the side of True Rippers, at least, if they are feeling their aim, which they do quite often, we will be seeing their rather more common team comp, I believe, on Ascent coming in. They do like to go in for both the jet and the chamber. They like, on a map like Ascent, where the operator can be a weapon with which you can single-handedly lock down any kind of point of entry, whether it's through short or mid, or even B main and A main, and when you have agents like
Yeah.
jet and chamber that let you get away without making that refrag possible, that's definitely something which True Rippers run quite often, and we might, be seeing it coming in again. They also do like going in for the double controller. They like going in for the Sova and the KO. They haven't really gone in for the Fade from what I've seen of their team comp so far. So it's going to be interesting to see if they change their mind. But looking at the agent select right now, Deadly's going to be on Neon. So what are your thoughts about this?
Oh, deadly on the Neon this time. All right, that's really interesting. Neon has been chosen, and overall, for the side of Reckoning, they will be going forward with the double initiator composition without a Sova. And honestly, more than the Neon, this is what I like to see. Sova has been, again, not as extreme as Cypher, but he's losing the sheer grasp he had on the initiator market once upon a long, long time ago, especially on Ascend. It used to be Sova, Astra, Jet, and this was months ago, but now Sova he's getting phased out, and we are seeing so many of these different compositions incorporating the Fade, the Breach. Sky is present as well, but Sky is a lot more used on Haven and Bind and such other maps. On Ascend, it's the team's choice, honestly, but they don't pick her as often as you would on other maps. But yeah, Sova is getting ruled out and out, and it definitely shows promising times in terms of the initiator market, because there's the reason why I talk so much about the market share and how much every single initiator gets to play, or how much every single agent archetype gets to play, is because equality is better for everyone, for the agents, for the strategies, for the viewers as well. You're seeing so many other kind of compositions, and honestly, as a viewer, Ascent has to be a perfect example of that. I mean, God, weeks ago, Ascent was just filled with double initiators, Sova Sky, Sova Breach, same compositions time and time and time again. Now we are seeing changes taking place. We are in the midst of them, and it's only going to get better from this point forward. As soon as Fade has been released, and she's getting played and getting into the meta as well, it's getting a whole lot better. And this to me makes me a lot more comfortable with the Ascent, because Zach, we were having this conversation just before we went live, is that the maps, a couple of them getting boring. I stated my opinion of Ascent going that way, but honestly, it's in the reverse direction right now, and it excites me as very, very soon we'll be jumping forward with the pistol round as well.
That's indeed the case. And you mentioned a double initiator, but at this point, a lot of the teams in EME and NA, they're going for a triple initiator comp. They go in for a chamber or a KJ, but mostly a chamber and, of course, the controller of choice. And then they just go for triple initiators. They go for the Sova. I think the combination that I've seen the most is the Sova, the Fade, as well as, I believe, the breach or the KO, but mostly the KO. So the KO ultimate,
Mhm.
is, in particular, it makes side take so much more easier. And off the back of that null command, you instantly shut down your opponent's KJ. There's going to be no more smokes available. If any of the players are in the vicinity, they're going to be shut down as well. Like multiple times, you see that 0 point. You see a chamber playing aggressively towards B main or A main. You have the 0 point toss in his face. That's all. No more rendezvous available for him. So at most, he can get one or two, but then he won't be able to get away easily. So KO in particular is seeing a lot of value with people increasingly picking up the chamber over the killjoy, and I think that it will have a lot of value for Reckoning in this particular team comp that they're running. I personally like it quite a bit. It's nice that they're willing to innovate and pick up new roles, especially Rio. Like, this is a man who's played Sova since he joined the team, but in the last few weeks he's been willing to pick up that Fade, and his impact has been on and off, but overall I think information wise, at least, he's doing more than his job, and that's good for the side of Reckoning. But in particular, I think when it comes to Reckoning, of course, you do have young talent like Deadly, but I think that the most dangerous player, the one that you really want to watch out for, is Pixels. Like, he's so
Yeah.
silent with the smokes, but when he puts down that Stim Beacon and goes, he's just insane. But heading into the
Yep.
pistol right now, Deadly's already looking to get some aggression heading in, does get the headshot, but Master and One Tap God will get the better of Reckoning right in that round. Hush does stop the bleeding with that one particular pick, but True Rippers, they're already looking 2-4 with the advantage.
Yeah, they anticipated this play from the side of Reckoning Esports, and they've done an excellent job of countering it, of dealing with it. Now, True Rippers, they can launch their own counterattack. They can move forward. You can see the spike going down at the A-bomb side. They have free reign when it comes to territory. Die! What? How does he get that against Rio? I'm sorry, Rio. No, 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 no. That was... happens. All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was bad, but pistols are known to be a bit inaccurate. But still, Rio, you had to land those, dude. Come on. Alright, anyways, Reckoning, they overplayed their hand, they overstayed their welcome, getting a little too aggressive in the face of True Rippers as well. And early on, they have gotten punished for it. And this has to be a lesson for their side. They have to realize that, okay, they can't get very, very aggressive and expect to just, walk over True Rippers. True Rippers are not a team like that. They are in very, very equal category when it comes to the nature of these two teams. They're very equally skilled against each other. So True Rippers can't apply their new, domination tactics again. So Reckoning can't apply those domination tactics against True Rippers.
Yeah, True Rippers have definitely done the research. Like, having watched some of Reckoning's matches in the last month or two, Deadly loves their play to be really push up on that B link and try to get their aggressive pick. But like you mentioned, True Rippers, they were absolutely ready for it. And I believe one tap god, he was able to survive because it was a wall bang. It wasn't like enough to completely take him out. And unfortunately for Deadly, it's not going to be enough. Already 3 Reckoning players towards mid. And yet again, it seems like True Rippers are aware of the possibility because that spray down is going to connect. It's going to do a lot of chip damage to these players. One tap god making his way forward on shot. The question is, will he check these corners? Because it's going to be so important here. Bad Love, though, off the back of that flash, is going to be able to connect one, but Sai is there for the trades. He finds 2. Can he get 3 is the question. He knows where Rio is, but he's going to be caught off guard by Pixels. And with that, this anti-eco could possibly swing in the favor of Reckoning here because it's still a 2v3. And Sai's HP is so low. If somebody breathes on him, he's going to go down here. But Ember is there. He's going to be the hero of the round. He does get 2. Crosshair is there to clean it up. And, True Rippers take the round, but at an expensive cost because they're going to lose 3 of their players in the process. That's 3 perspectives offline.
Yeah, Reckoning Esports, this time they were on the front lines of their defense because they knew they had nothing to lose, yet they did not push early on. They did not commit the mistakes they made in the first round. They were like, okay, we will let True Rippers just extend a little bit. We saw that initial kill from Bad Love towards Catwalk. He peeked out as soon as the flash went out from Harsh. He got the kill onto one tap god, albeit he had to spend a couple more of its bullets from the Headhunter. He still secured the kill. So Reckoning Esports, they weren't in the faces of True Rippers, but they were also waiting for True Rippers to make the initial move. Now though, Reckoning, they have, finished up with their ecos. Now they are on better rifles. Thing is, the attackers, they've gotten the opening kill. They know the location of these defenders. They're already in the B bomb site. They can very easily take control. That is, unless the breach can hold on. Harsh will be good for 1. He still swings wide towards B main. Can he find another?
Oh no, Ember finding yet another as he takes down Pixels. That's going to be the man advantage swinging towards True Rippers, and they managed to pick up 2 of these rifles as well. I don't know how Usher stayed alive in that position for that long. I think he chose to back off rather than get aggressive, but that flash is going to be good, and he's going to be able to find yet another pick off the back of that. A 3v3 retake right now, but Harshi has the ultimate. The Rolling Thunder is going to concuss all of these players except for Ember. Still on the lurk, 3 on the round already for him. A 1v2 right now, the IGL Rio. He has to close it out, has to hit some snotty shots, but they're both so low. The right click comes in and Rio will be able to clutch out the round. But True Rippers, they almost had that bonus. That round should not have gotten this close. I know Rio clutched it out, but it should not have been this close for the side of Reckoning.
Honestly, Reckoning, they were caught by a storm. As soon as True Rippers started the take and as soon as they got the opener and moved into the bomb site. For True Rippers, their priority wasn't clearing the bomb site, rather it was getting the spike down. And that to me was a very interesting dynamic. It was high risk, high reward. We saw the reward in terms of getting site control, planting the spike, putting the post-plant situation, putting the time pressure on Reckoning members, but they had to bear the risk with it. The main risk being someone like Harsh still being near Shaq, still peeking those angles, who got another kill before he went down. So this time, True Rippers, they're going to take a chill pill. They're going to play backed off, but they're still towards mid. And this is the one thing we're seeing, that Reckoning are not looking to contest mid quite a lot. They have nobody in Gardens at the moment. They have their Fade, but she's all the way back towards Defender spawn. Only now does she rotate using the Prowler towards Garden, checks the corner, sees if there are any attackers present. True Rippers want to push forward, but they're still looking for that initial pick. They're looking for that point of entry. Reckoning are not giving it to them.
Ooh, but one tap god, he has shot control. If they still want to go in for that A side, he might be able to, catch somebody off guard or at least get some damage. But no, True Rippers, they're going to book it over towards B instead. The rotation hasn't really come through. Both the Breach as well as Bad Love are going to be on this particular side. Bad Love is going to be suppressed as well. So that's going to be no rendezvous. If they choose to clear him out here, it's going to make things so rough for them. And yep, he's going to be taken down. The ultimate Nightfall is committed from the Fade, but one tap god, he might be able to do so much damage. He gets 2 pixels a little bit too late to stop that. And with that. True Rippers, they have this side. They're going to be able to get the plant down as well. Just 2 players left right now for Reckoning. The Neon, just the Neon right now. As Pixels goes down, Deadly is able to find one, but Sai will shut him down. And off that, True Rippers, they're going to get the round. And I think that entirely comes down to, One Tap God being able to find the most fantastic timing in the world. He goes, he gets to, and Pixels, I think he was putting down smokes, and unfortunately, by the time he did pull out that Guardian, it was too late. 2 of the players had already gone down. So that is going to be the timeout called by the Reckoning coach here, I believe. And, you have to figure out what exactly is going wrong, because I think after that round, they're going to need an eco.
Yeah, I mean, economically, Reckoning are quite worse off, not just economically, and not just, economically credit-wise, but I think the ultimate economy, if we have a look at the top of the scoreboards, we can see True Rippers, 4 ultimates available, ready to use for them. Reckoning, unfortunately, have none right now. True Rippers have saved up so many of their ults. And granted, from the shadows for Omen, it's not the most widely used ultimate. This is the one problem I have with Omen. Such a great operator. Such a great agent, my apologies. There is a reason why he has the most picked rate on Ascent, with the exception of, Astra, who is still there, but not as big as Omen. But yeah, it's the ultimate, man, for Omen. You can use it for information, but it has to be very, very situational, and it always is extremely situational. But still, I'm, diverting from my original point. My point is, True Rippers are so well off compared to their counterparts economically with their ults, is that they're looking in a great spot right now, and that is particularly why Godspeed has gone for that tactical timeout. It's to tell his players that, guys, the next couple of rounds are going to be rough. We don't have the best of weaponry, but whatever we do have, we can make work with it. And bad luck. Perfect unison with that fault line, peeks wide and gets that opener. One chamber getting rid of another. And True Rippers right now, they've taken a little bit of a punch. However, they're looking to go into A-bomb side, but the problem is the spike. Can One Tap God retrieve it safely?
Oh, 5 players for the side of Reckoning pushing out from B main, and One Tap God, he has to be careful. If they fought him, they might go down here, and yep, that's going to be the spike drop. The weapon dropped as well, but Sai is here to try and, prevent this from going in Reckoning's favor. The Prowler being spotted, Centaurum will spot out exactly where he is, and the spike is still dropped. The Hunting Sphere is going to be committed as well, and this is pretty interesting considering the position that he's in, but I guess the rest of his team is available towards that short angle. Never mind though, Bad Love, he's going to have the tour de force off the back of that first pick, and he already has 3 on the round. What looked like a round that was completely in favor of True Rippers. They had the A side for themselves, but ever since that spike was dropped, things just have not been going their way. And Ember, he's going to be in a 1v4 position. This is one of those situations where the From the Shadows can really come in useful, but he doesn't have to invest it. He can just go walk out and get it because he does have a smoke tab, but he has to close out this 1v4, and with 20 seconds left on the clock, he has to get the spike down as well. But look at Hush. He's pushed all the way up towards A main. He knows that the spike will have to go down on one of these sides, and while the rest of the team does have B well underhand, A, that's going to be his domain, but he's going to be playing it safe. He's going to be waiting for the rest of the team to come through, and they're going to be able to pick up all of these guns drops. So this 1v4, it's looking impossible right now for Ember.
He's got the paranoia, he's got the sidestep as well. Can he be spotted before it goes? Yeah, alright, the shutters before they went down, Ember has been spotted. But most importantly, like you highlighted, the opponents, they've got the rifles. There's not much Ember can do from this point forward. Isolates one gunfight, can't secure that one. It is going to be a thrifty round win for the side of Reckoning Esports. The From the Shadows was used. They have got the orbital strike right now, but most importantly, the rifles. Look at the amount of rifles they have. They can pick up all the Vandals and the Phantoms, save those extra 2,900 credits for the future whenever they need it. True Rippers, it was looking so confident for them. Everyone had them propped up. I even said, Reckoning will be thinking to themselves, the next couple of rounds will be tough, given how many ults True Rippers have, given the better weaponry, the armory, everything looking, good. But no, Reckoning replied back, and they're like, we are not going to let True Rippers move forward and extend this lead even further. We are going to bounce back, and now they're in it completely. Operator in the hands of Bad Luck. Very, very potent rifle right here, peeking towards mid. He does go back right now, and True Rippers take advantage of that, moving up towards market. One of the very few times we have seen True Rippers invest so much utility towards market, but I think it's just to sell a fake. Yeah, One Tap God is retreating. They want to scare the members of Reckoning. The original plan still lies on the A-bomb side.
Yep, Crosshair is going to be holding that shot. I don't think he spotted out these players yet, but that null command is going to be so important here because it's going to shut down the rendezvous. It's going to keep that orbital strike from coming into play. Bad luck though, he's not afraid to peek. He's able to get one for his troubles, but nevertheless the round, it still is likely to go in the hands of Reckoning. Two Rippers, especially if they can get Master up, which is exactly what happens. With that, control of the A side has been held, and the spike should be able to go down any second, but that orbital strike is going to take down Crosshair. Hush as well will be able to catch one tap God in the wrong position, and the spike hasn't gone down. The orbital strike delayed it perfectly, and with that it's going to come down to a 2v4, make that a 3v2, as with that it's going to be just these two players from True Rippers have to try and make it work. They're going to go aggressive with 30 seconds left on the clock. It seems like they want to go in for perhaps some additional picks, and while they are going towards heaven, they don't know that all three of them are going to be here. Sai watching this angle, waiting for someone to look through, but Harsh, he's going to be good for 2, as with 3 on the round, Reckoning also get to 3.
Surely One Top God must have told his teammates, like, okay, there are plenty of members pushing in from defender spawn. Look at this angle from One Top God. He spotted like 3 people there after he died. Surely he must have given that information to his teammates that don't really peek from the cartons. You may die. But they still went for it. I guess they were looking for kills. They were looking to somehow tilt the advantage in their favor. Whatever it was a lost cause from True Rippers. In the past 2 rounds, True Rippers are looking a lot more shakier than they were early on. Reckoning, they are exploiting this fact time and time again. They have won rounds in consecution, and True Rippers now, they have to suffer the consequences. With inferior weaponry, they have sheriffs in hand. They are prepping up for a B take, but again, the defenders want to shut it down. Look at that, Harsh and Deadly still going about. Harsh! Oh my god! A triple for him with the Vandal. The Neon finishes things off, and that is a flawless, simple, yet eloquent round win.
I think if we ever saw a difference in how Thrifty rounds went, that's gonna be it, because that was, I think, also the quickest round we've seen in the match so far. It was like 15 seconds long, or less than that, in fact. But with that, the economy at least is gonna be back, in favor of True Rippers, and they still do have the tour de force on Crosshair if he ever wants to use it in a tight corner. But after that round, Harsh yet again has the Rolling Thunder in action, and this is nice to see, because Harsh, he is the latest player to join Reckoning. I know it's been like a month or two, but you're really, seeing him step it up. We used to play CSGO a lot, and the fact that he's able to perform this well in Valorant, like finally showing the kind of caliber we expect in this kind of scene, it's nice to see. With that aggression, Deadly, I think Deadly and his teammate will be able to find one, but nevertheless, the mid control has come through, and one tap God has crossed over. I don't know if Battle Up is aware of this though. The knife will come through, and he'll miss, and Master is able to capitalize off the back of that. Rio trying to hold things strong here. Pixels on site as well. They know why the 2 remaining players from Reckoning are positioned here, but Pixels, he's playing around here as he manages to make the jump and successfully work his way back around. If Sai is not careful, he might be going down to the hands of Pixels here. A 2v3 retake round for Reckoning, unless Pixels can find something with that push. Does get one. Can he get the second is the question. Will One Tap God stop him? No, Sai will be the one to put a stop to that. But the HP for these players, both Rio and One Tap God, are just 1 bullet away from the demise. Perhaps 2 for Rio. And Rio, he has all the utility. He has a Prowler, he has the Haunt, he has a Seize. But he's going to be spotted out. And will he be able to get the kill? Yep, Sai will close it out. With that, True Rippers, they will be able to equalize scores yet again. But that round, it was insane coming in from Pixels, because he made it close. If he hadn't been able to get back out and make that circle back, things would have looked so much worse. Like, look at this play from him. He almost got 2 there.
Yeah. Almost dead. He was stuck behind that box. He feared that if he peeks too early, he's gonna go down, and unfortunately, it won't be enough to buy his teammate the time to move forward. And Rio, he'll be all by himself. But still, that was the problem moving on forward. True Rippers, alright, they finally get around back. Economy for both of these teams, it's had its ups and downs. Battler has been having his ups and downs. Missed a couple of the shots with the operator for the past, I think, 2 or 3 rounds. This time, has the same gun back in his hands, and his team, they seem to be struggling a little bit. That's the opener going in favor of the attackers, and the attackers themselves going in favor of that B take once more. True Rippers, they have been finding a lot of success on these B takes, but they have been shut down in those thrifties as well. This time, Rio the only one on the bomb side, and the thing is, reinforcements, they will take a lot of time to get back, to rotate, and to move on forward into the B bomb side. If it goes into that retake scenario, he's got to be careful. The attackers are ready on B. Ember still here on A. Does he spot? Oh, he spots many of the defenders. That's 1 for him. isolates, easy kill, and this is going to put a big predicament on the members of Reckoning Esports. Rio is still here in the boathouse. How much longer can he survive? That's his second, and now he goes down, leaving Pixels all alone.
A 1v3, we've seen Pixels clutch these out before, but it seems like Sai is aware that the push might be coming in towards either CT or main. That drone not going to clear out the right angle, so Pixels might be able to capitalize on that. He has to find all three of these players here, two towards Botos, one close up, but with that shot, he's going to be spotted out here. Master, he might be able to go down to that Molotov. That's some really good utility usage coming in from Pixels here. A 1v2 right now. The clock is still ticking. If he goes for the wall bank, he might be able to connect it onto his side, but he has to be careful. If that recon spots him out, he's going to take so much damage. But the players from the side of True Rippers, they're not really spraying. They don't want to give away their position. They just want to play time. And the paranoia is perfect from Ember. He's been showing up so huge in this particular round. You know, first taking down Deadly on the look, and second being able to just teleport over with that from the shadows to provide the additional backup, and I would say distract Rio as well. So that's a fantastic round for True Rippers. And so far it seems like every time they do manage to get that first blood, they're able to pretty much convert the round easily in their favor. And you know, one particular thing that I think Reckoning needs to improve on is the operator position, because right now Badlov, he's having almost no impact. When by the time he rotates over, they've already lost so much control that he instantly goes down, and that's not a good look for him.
That's the thing. The operator is such an expensive investment as well, and they're not able to get the necessary or like the mandatory returns out of it every single round. Bad love. You know, he's been getting the operator in his hand time and time again. This time, True Rippers, they are wasting no time. They're looking for that execute onto the A bomb side. Pixels hit with the paranoia from Gardens, doesn't hit anyone. Deadly 10. Oh, excellent headshot. That's the dive agent gone, but the Jet has done her job. The remaining agents are into the bomb side. The Rolling Thunder gets to everyone alongside the Hunter's Fury. It's just a full-on utility bogged down here on the A bomb side, but True Rippers are still looking to be the better team out of it, because Rio is the only person now alive, and very soon he may not be if he chooses to push forward.
Was a lot of ultimate expenditure being provided by both the teams, especially for Reckoning, because they invested both the Nightfall as well as the Rolling Thunder, and they could only find one pick off the back of it. Right now, Rio again in a 1v3, but two of these players are so low. If he can take down Crosshair as well as Ember, he might have a chance in that 1v1. But again, True Rippers, they're playing this to perfection, not really giving away any kind of information, just holding the angle, and they're going to be rewarded for that with their 6th round. And I gotta say, I realized that Reckoning, they were playing for the retake here, but I don't think they accounted for the So World, because that particular ultimate as well as utility did so much damage, softening them up for Ember, who nevertheless goes in for the overkill headshots. But overall, that round from True Rippers was just insane, and off the back of that Reckoning, they're only gonna have the Neon ultimate to work with, and yet again, Badlove is somehow able to afford that operator. So far, it's been 0 for 3 in the past few rounds. Hopefully, this time around, things change. But again, he's gonna be posted up towards mid, so I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to have any kind of real impact with it.
I mean, for the side of True Rippers, no Tode force remaining, so who knows, maybe the operator can get a little bit of impact. No, Badlove goes down as the initial kill. Rio gets the trade and stops True Rippers in their tracks, but it was a fake. It was a diversion tactic taken up by the attackers, all to achieve their true objective, get into the A bomb site safe and sound, and they have achieved just that. The fragment alongside the smoke prevents the defenders from seeing anything, but Deadly 10, oh look at this Parkour from his side, that's another kill. Master in hell, flash dazed out of his sights, and yet he's fragging to the best of his capabilities. Sai now the top fragger, the most experienced player True Rippers have, and his experience has to shine brighter than the light that can be generated from both of these agents. He flanks them from behind. Hush has no idea. The Refuser half stuck is gone. Rio tagged, and Sai, he clutches it. Of course he does. True Rippers get their 7th, at the very least, secure an advantage in the first half.
And one of the most experienced players, like you mentioned, and that was perfection coming in from him for that 1v2 clutch. Of course, Master makes it easier for him. He brings it down to a 1v2 instead of a 1v3, but the fake towards heaven, the Sova dart that makes it look like he's exactly there, and of course, the clean shots at the end of it, that's gonna be the round for True Rippers. And in this last buy, Reckoning, they're not gonna have much of an eco. Look at what they have. They have one rifle. Everybody else is gonna be on awkward weapons. In fact, Deadly, he's only gonna have a Sheriff to his name. He might have, of course, the overdrive, and that seems like that's what they're gonna be investing as they go forward, and it might really bad position here if Crosshair doesn't stop him in his tracks. They're already 2 to his name. Just 3 players left right now for the side of Reckoning, and they're not making the same mistakes. This time they dropped the spike around with Spawn, so that Reckoning would not be able to maintain control of it. Already 2 down now for Reckoning, and the remaining players, they're all either towards this A shot or towards B main. Pixels will find one as one tap caught, gets a little bit too over eager, but apart from that, this round could very much still easily go in the favor of True Rippers. Bad Love, though, we've seen this man have an impact. If he can get one pick, he's gonna have that tour de force, and the last time he had that weapon in his hands, it was a 3k for him. That might be what he needs, and yep, he's gonna have it online if he chooses to activate it, and this round is still doable right now for True Rippers. Yep, that's gonna be the tour de force, but they have no map control. Anywhere they have to go, they have to clear it from scratch.
Oh my. Beautiful shot right there from Bad Love, catches Ember, just final pixels right there. But that's enough for him. The orbital strikes at the perfect time, takes down both the members on the side of True Rippers. Oh, this was just a bonanza with the ultimates on the side of Reckoning. East was making excellent use out of them, using them effectively and efficiently. Not efficiently as much because it was the final round. Use them, don't, it's going to get reset anyways, but still. They are in this well and truly. I mean, 7-5, that's practically nothing for both of these teams, given how close it's been. To me, this is all about momentum. True Rippers and Reckoning, we can see on the scoreboard right now, it's momentum for them. You know, sometimes Reckoning, they get their 3-round burst win. True Rippers get their 4-round burst win as well. It always goes in multiples. Very hardly, like very far and few between, are we seeing those single round wins, then changes and whatnot. So whichever team gets a better start, they will have the advantage. And so far, these are not looking like two teams who will, you know, essentially go for a force buy if they lose the pistol. So whoever wins the pistol round goes for their anti-eco with Spectre's full armor. It's going to be a very helpful advantage for their side. They may be able to extend the lead even further in the case of True Rippers, or mount a comeback in the case of Reckoning Esports. But again, both teams have their 1-minute tactical timeout right now since it is halftime. And Zach, what do you think is going on in terms of the conversations in both the boot camps in this 1 minute?
I mean, of course, both of these teams do understand the importance of this pistol because it's either going to equalize scores or it's going to give the side of True Rippers a kind of overwhelming advantage. 9-2, I think the score after that full buy coming in for Reckoning, if the pistols do go True Rippers' way, is going to be 9-6. And on a map like Ascent, especially when the side switchers come through and they're going to be on defense, that's going to be a pretty much a big advantage going in for them. So right now, it's going to fall onto Deadly's shoulders here. He has the initiators which you can use to create space. Like if the fault line as well as the Prowlers do their job, he's going to be able to possibly get the sights right off the back of the fast lane wall, or even just his stunts, but he has to be able to do that. We've seen him be a little bit on and off with the neon utilities, so as long as he can use it to perfection, it's gonna be what Reckoning really need to try and take the side. And as for True Rippers, I think that they're a pretty experienced team. They know how to hold and play Ascent, and as long as they can keep up the standard which they usually have maintained when it comes to this defense, it's gonna be what they need to take this map pick in their favor. Already one tap card ready with the dash, will be spotted out by the Prowler, but he's not gonna hesitate. He's still gonna be trying to go forward here, as they seems like it's gonna be a full-on A push. 3 players from Reckoning have already taken control of shot here, and look at Deadly, he's all the way up to heaven. It seems like Sai is aware of that though, and that's gonna force Deadly back. Pixels will be able to trade it out, but Ember is still holding strong with his generator angle before he goes down. A 3v3 right now at Reckoning. They have side control, so at this point it could go any way for either team.
That's the thing, True Rippers, equal man count. They don't have anyone on the bomb side, but the reinforcements, they got enough time. The anchors in the bomb side bought them. That's time for them to be able to rotate back, and they have managed to. Now it's the job of Reckoning to hold them off, but Crosshair, the Headhunter, strikes again. Deadly 10, the entry fragger, the Neon, now the last person alive in the server. For the side of Reckoning Esports, the last person, and a dream and the hopes of an entire team with him. It's going to be an easy 3rd kill. Alright, so that's elimination from the side of True Rippers. 3 versus 3 converted into a 3 versus 0. It was a good execute from Reckoning. Thing was, by the time they were done getting side control, they didn't have enough manpower. Most importantly, they didn't have enough utility. It's the pistol round. The credits, everyone receives 800. Either you get a ghost and just one of your ults, not one of your ults, one of your regular abilities, or you go for the armor abilities, whatever. Point being, there just wasn't enough utility to delay those rotating defenders who were looking for that retake. And unfortunately for them, another Hellfire struck in the form of Crosshair, getting a triple kill with the headhunter. I mean, there was no stopping him after that. So yeah,
I mean-
Reckoning Esports, tough luck. Now they have to move on.
I think one thing that you didn't point out during that round was the fact that they did have the delay utilities. Just that both of the initiators, Hush and Ryu, chose to push forward and they were immediately punished by Crosshair. So if they hadn't made that much of a mistake, it would have still gone in the favor of Reckoning there. But one tap god, he's not going to be pushed out by that Molly entirely, and Pixels will be able to take down. Reckoning have gone for the force buy here, so they do have the power of the Spectres as well as additional weapons to work with in this particular round. Now they already have gotten their first pick, and off the back of that, the A side looks a little bit more vulnerable here, but they have to deal with both Ember and Master, who so far have been a bastion, a careful hold of this particular side. Ember as well, he's moved over and he's aware that Pixels might be, that he knows that that was the last position Pixels was spotted in, and it's going to be very, very difficult right now for the side of Reckoning to make any kind of headway. Ember, he's not going to be afraid, will push forward, find one for his troubles, and will force Bad Luck to fall back as well. So that's going to be absolutely no map control available right now for these Reckoning players, and with that, they're going to be booking it over to B. But Crosshair, he hasn't rotated. Crosshair was the man to watch out for the last round as well. It seems like that might be the case yet again.
Alright, evades the fault line, easy first. That's the second. The spike is dropped alongside the hoops of Reckoning. Getting any momentum in this round. Clean up duty again for the True Rippers members, and they extend their lead even further. Go from 2 rounds to 4. And it is going to be the second timeout taken by Godspeed. First was taken after the initial 4 rounds. Now, after the events of the pistol and the anti-eco, Reckoning Esports. This is, I think, the worst case that they've been in when it comes to the round count. A 4-round disadvantage. Yeah, it's not been any more extreme than that previously. So True Rippers, they're looking to extend it. They want double digits and they want it as soon as possible. And that's the thing. True Rippers have this golden opportunity right now, the once in a blue moon kind of opportunity to defeat Reckoning Esports in not a one-sided manner, but still a pretty a pretty favorable ways if they can manage to obviously keep the momentum going, which will be difficult, given that Reckoning will be going for the full buys with the Vandals and the Phantoms. The last time we've seen these teams on Ascent, in other tournaments all over South Asia, Reckoning Esports, they've won on Ascent 13-10, 13-9, still close enough scores, but something like a 13-5 or anything along the lines of that. Ooh, it is going to be a very, very formidable win, and it is going to hurt the side of RG. But overall, now we return back to the game and we see that Reckoning, wait a minute, it's not going to be a full buy from their side. Rather, economy is looking a little bit tight, and it is just going to be upgraded pistols.
Yeah, that it is going to be the eco, and I think that you pointed out the Reckoning does well. They do well on South Asia. The last 2 times they played Ascent against SCA teams, they have not had a very good time. They have been absolutely shut down. I think against Gaivan Gladiators, they went 2-13, so not a really good look for them. I think that while that's not the case here, they are still struggling against True Rippers, who are looking extremely strong on this particular map. Especially, you have to point out Crosshair on the chamber here. You do see increasingly chamber coming into play instead of the Killjoy, and this is exactly why, because of the raw fragging potential that he has. Bad Love, though, he's gonna wake up, and like I mentioned, that's the fragging potential of the chamber. That Headhunter pistol can do so much, especially when scoped in, and with that first pick going in their favor, it seems like Reckoning, they're gonna be positioning towards B. Master, the first man, will get the first, will get the second as well, third for the round here, and with the help of Crosshair, he is gonna be able to get a 4K, and what looked like a round that could possibly go in Reckoning's favor after that first pick is gonna completely switch around, as yet again the duo of Crosshair and Master strike. Crosshair, I think off the back of that, he will also have the total force available, so something to watch out for.
Yeah, Reckoning in the previous round got Reckoninged. That was their own play, with them essentially, with the defenders not extending or not like forcing their way out of B main or A main, but still holding a very aggressive angle and in a vulnerable position as well. Granted, the place where Crosshair was, it wasn't going to be an easy gunfight, but again, inferior weaponry in the hands of the RG members led to their eventual downfall. This time won't be the case, but this time True Rippers can one-up Reckoning members in terms of the weaponry. Yet again, you highlighted the Tour de Force. Crosshair, no. He was spotted, and now he is sent to the Shadow Realm by Fate. That's the opener. Again, going in favor of the attackers. Reckoning have been doing an excellent job of finding these opening kills. Thing is, it's not always been extremely consistent converting them into round wins. Always, opening kills are going to be a major help for a team in any FPS shooter out there. Personally, I love this statistic, but for Reckoning, they have been struggling early on. And again, the man count has been equalized. The spearhead of the attack, the entry fragger, Deadly 10 is now gone. So exactly how do they plan on proceeding forward with this execute?
I mean, they do have the superior weaponry in this particular round because a lot of the players from True Rippers, they haven't seen the need to like really enforce it, but that's how they're gonna be entering. They're gonna be spotting out. All four players are gonna be suppressed off the back of that knife. But do they expect Ember here is the question. They might not be doing so. And oh no, they don't check. And Harsh goes down. A 1v3 right now as Ember tries to hold on for dear life before the backup comes in. He's doing his best to isolate these fights, and he's burning alive here. Finding one more for his troubles. It's gonna come down to just pixels right now. A 1v2 situation. Clutch to prevent True Rippers from getting closer and closer to match point. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, he has to plant as well. His HP, it's so low. And Pixels, he's just gonna get walled back to death because Sai knows his recons. And that's gonna be yet another round for True Rippers, who have not lost a single round on this defensive half. And that's something that you pointed out, right? The fact that Reckoning is able to get these first bloods. Well, it's usually because they do peak twice, but a lot of the times after that they get very complacent. They just let they give away these 1v1s and they don't really check their corners, and that's exactly what True Rippers, they are playing as a team, and that is really working out for them. Reckoning, they're giving away too many 1v1s, and at this juncture, 11-5, 1 away from match point, 2 away from the game slipping out of their hands, they still choose to go in for an eco. They are just 1 away from the Tour de Force, I believe, but apart from that, they have no else really.
And True Rippers are denying them that ultimate usage as well. We are seeing one top got prepped up towards A main, not letting Reckoning harvest their ults over towards B. Crosshair is holding that very angle where the other ultimate orb lies. True Rippers don't want to give that luxury to Reckoning. I think they know already that's not going to be the best of guns on the side of RGE. The attackers, they have got upgraded pistols. They still have to peek, and Crosshair. Perfect positioning, the lineup works, and again, Reckoning, they are pushed down a peg. Another kill goes their way. The Tour de Force goes down alongside Fade's body. One tap god is just showboating at this point. It's going to be a flawless round win for True Rippers. Only a single away from sheer victory.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, I completely lost it when one tap got turned into a helicopter there, but this collab from Crosshair as well as almost a triple kill from one tap god, that's gonna propel them to match point. And right now they only have the Bladestorm available, but they also have Crosshair on the operator, who so far at least is doing a much more consistent job than Badliv did on that defensive half. You know, we saw him the last one, he single-handedly put a stop to that push. This time though, at least the Nightfall is available from Rio, and I think they're gonna be using it right off the bat as they try to go in for a very fast A push here. Yep, that it is going to be a B push here. Chamber will be able to TP out, but they will nevertheless have the site for free. So we might be seeing a full 5-on-5 retake. As I say that, the Crosshair, he's going to step in huge. And the spray is coming in. It's insane. But do they know Deadly's position? Do they know that he's towards the backside? They do not. And that's going to be one tap god paying for it. That as with that Reckoning, they're going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. All three players stuck in this B main position. They've caught out one player flanking. But do they know that Ember is also there? The Omen, the Shadow, the danger that they might have to face here. Yes, it seems like they're aware, and Ember, he's going to choose to book it out of that. He doesn't want to give up this advantage, and he's just going to be watching for the rotation. Badlove, though, he will catch him, and with that, the advantage, at least numerically, does lie in the hands of True Rippers, as Deadly will be able to get out safely off the back of that Neon ability. With that, the A side is open for business. At least Sai will know that the rotation is coming through, but to win this particular round, it's going to take a lot from these players. 1v3 right now, as Crosshair, he has to clutch it out.
Oh, this may be a little more than what he's capable of, but then again, operator in hand, full HP. He's got 8 bullets in the headhunter as well. It is doable. Will it happen? Highly unlikely. Forgets to check Badlove, and Badlove secures the third in his round. So improvements in Badlove's performance, absolutely. After the events of the first half, where he was having a bit of a quieter day. Thing is, the Reckoning need to improve with exponential rates right now. They need to, just keep on grinding it out, and it's not going to be easy. They still have 6 more rounds that they have to win in consecution against True Rippers, who are looking oh so scary right now. It's a difficult task for any team in South Asia if you put them in this situation, but Reckoning have to do it nonetheless. They still have the luxury of the second map. Even if they lose here, they have that safety net of going to Icebox, maybe even to Haven to try and win the best of three, but advantage will not lie with them. They will be at a severe disadvantage. This time though, they're looking to move on forward, have all the advantage in the world. Deadly 10 gets the opener, moving on forward into the side. Deadly with another. And the A side is up for grabs unless Sai, the top fragger, can deny it. He gets one. No, now he's been shut down, and Reckoning Esports, they have total control.
2v4 right now as Reckoning. It seems like they will be able to get another round in their pocket here. I think that the safe call might come through because True Rippers, they're aware that the economy is slowly but surely degrading, and they're just going to go and try and hold on to that operator, which has come in so valuable in multiple rounds right now. Yep, that does seem to be the call. And I want to talk about Reckoning. You mentioned that they do have a chance at Icebox, but that's the thing, right? The Ascent map pick was from Reckoning, and this is a map where they expected to win. They expected that they would be able to close this out, so that Icebox, which is a map where True Rippers is exceptionally strong, it's going to be so much harder for them if they lose this. If you look at the statistics for Icebox in particular, it is hands down one of True Rippers' strongest maps. They've played it so many times, especially against like teams from the SA region where they've done quite well. Reckoning, they have beaten them before, but with this new roster, I don't know if that's going to be the same case here. So Icebox, if I had after having watched True Rippers play on Icebox, I think Reckoning, they're gonna have a very hard time on that particular map. Right now though, things are looking a little bit better for them after the timeout. They have gotten 2 more rounds, but for this game to go to overtime, CCV, they need to get 5 more in a row, and I don't know the possibilities of that, if that's really gonna be good. The economy is still good enough for the side of True Rippers to buy in, and more than that, they have 2 ults as well. They have the From the Shadows as well as the Hunter's Fury, which we've seen what an impact Sai can have with it. And look at Sai right now. He's the top frag for a reason.
Yeah. True Rippers, definitely not lacking in terms of the utility as well, but still their gunfights, it's gotta be on par with the Reckoning. Reckoning are looking to overpower their opposition, and again, they get free reign into the bomb side. There is counter utility from True Rippers. Hunter's Fury rolled around. There's the Blade Storm as well, but in terms of side control, Spike's gonna go down very, very rapidly as well. The attackers don't want to waste any time, but they have to deal with the wrath of the opposition, and True Rippers, they are going to strike with the force. All 5 of the defenders adjacent to the bomb side looking for that entry. How long can Reckoning survive just on the basis of their utility? Very soon they will have to start peeking the angles, and Deadly 10, he doesn't even need to peek. He's got the walls to support him, and the wall bangs work as he shoots away one of the defenders, but the defenders are trying to strike back. Deadly 10, however, 4K all from hell, and he's bringing hell to the members of True Rippers. Yes, he goes down, but he has done his job and gone above and beyond. Reckoning Esports get yet another
3 in the row right now, and Reckoning, they look like they are capable of making this comeback, which is good for them because, like I mentioned, this is their map pick. Their economy as well, it's going to be bolstered after those 3 wins in a row, especially considering that they've won them losing less than 2 players. So that's look at how she has like 8K in the bank, a full bank and a full life right now, and this is the last buy which the side of True Rippers have. If they don't win this out, we're very likely looking at a 10-12 scoreline, and that's very much easier to come back from rather than a 5-12. And Reckoning, they've done the hard lifting here. They want to go in for the quick push again, which seems to be working out for them right now, but that suppression is going to be perfect from Master as he's able to get all of them suppressed with Sai and Crosshair. They're going to be stepping up huge here. Just 2 players left alive right now for Reckoning, both of them stuck towards his B main, and this is the worst part. The spike is dropped in the open. They will be able to possibly pick it back up. Yep, Rio does manage to get it, but apart from that, they know the position of these players. They know that the stun came from B main, and if they don't make any careless mistakes, if they don't get a little bit too aggressive and give them these picks, it's gonna be huge here. Ember is on the flank as well already, so again, he wants to watch out for those rotates, but this angle from Baby Sai, it's gonna cause him to go down, as it seems like the players from Reckoning are aware of it. No smokes for them though, so unless they have the fault line back online to push Crosshair off this angle, it's gonna make heading into this B side really impossible. Ember, he's patient, he's waiting. He knows that where he is, he's going to be able to catch the rotation, or at least hear them through spawn, and his Crosshair is exactly where Rio's head will come through here. Ember can be the man that makes or breaks this round for True Rippers, and they're not going to check him. He's going to spawn out the barrel, but no, Rio connects the headshot somehow. I don't know, he tried to go for trigger discipline, but he's going to be paying for that, as with that, it's going to be a 2v2 for Reckoning, and True Rippers, yet again, they're going to be on the back foot on this retake.
Yeah. True Rippers once more, one tap quad peeking, gets the shot onto Rio, and A lot difficult for her. She has utility, the aftershock, a flash, the fault line as well. It's all about the timing. We have seen clutches take place, 1v2 clutches on this very A-bomb site. Sai did that previously as the attacker. Harsh has to repeat it. No, it won't be taking place. Crosshair. Amazing crosshair placement, pun intended. Lets him and lets the entirety of True Rippers take the win on map number 1. 13-8 after a long time. True Rippers have finally defeated Reckoning Esports on the map of Ascent. We have been talking about this rivalry time and time again, and True Rippers finally take their revenge. But revenge, it is still temporary. They have to secure one more map at the very least before they can move up and move on forward against the likes of Revenant Esports in the finals of the first qualifier. Still, a huge congratulations for them. They'll be congratulating themselves for securing map 1, their opposition's choice.
Yeah, Ascent. I was expecting it to be closer than this, I'll be honest. But reckoning they did manage to, get their stuff together at least towards the end, getting those 4 rounds in a row. That was pretty huge from them. But True Rippers, they still reign supreme. And we have to talk about Sai during this map, because again, like I mentioned off the bat, this is a player we're used to seeing on that jet with that operator, with that aggression. But he's done so well to adapt being on this Sova, and he's definitely something to watch out for when it comes to True Rippers. And he proved exactly why during this particular map. His information from his recon bolts, the fact that he managed to always do so much damage with his ultimate and his shock darts, that was absolutely huge. And of course, this skill right off the bat, the fact that he managed to get the better of Rio in that engagement, of course, it is his skill, but more than that, it was also Rio not really having a very good time there. Nevertheless, it was unfortunate. That's the nicest way you can say it. But I think True Rippers, they deserve a lot of credit because even their attacking half, they were always, they had consistent control. Ember was always somewhere on the other side of the map, making sure that he was able to catch rotations off guard. He was single-handedly able to close out a lot of rounds and create so much impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the side of True Rippers, fact that they were able to play as a team, get that momentum, move on forward, it was amazing stuff. And for Reckoning as well, they had their glimmers of hope, but overall, I wouldn't call it a compositional difference. Their composition, it's good, Neon, is it a risk? Yes and no. It's better than the Jet in some instances, worse off in a couple, but it's not like you can't make it work, especially at this level. You absolutely can. The Breach and Fade can work in tandem with each other. They can get that information. It's just kind of like Breach and Sky, but with a couple of changes. Yet, for the side of Reckoning, they were not able to convert that. True Rippers got the better end of that deal in this entire map. And yeah, I have to agree with you as well, Sai, having a great performance. There was a time as well where Sai, in his previous teams before joining True Rippers, he had started playing a lot of KO as well, especially on the map of Split. Rest in peace. I remember Sai taking up that agent, going for those plays. So he is not very unknown to this initiator role. And still, with all the changes that's been happening in the team, in the roster, with with his teammates as well, and even with the agents, he is still able to make waves and waves every single map. So yeah, excellent performances. Speaking of Sai, that's one. Shock dart, swing wide, close it off.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to Reckoning in particular, they've been varying their agent comp quite a bit on this particular map, and I think that has to do with the decision to try and get into the meta, try and really follow what teams from other regions are doing. But it just seems like so far the players are having quite a bit of trouble adapting to it. Like especially Deadly in particular, he played really well today, but I feel like when Deadly is on that Jet or even that Raze, he's able to have so much more of an impact off the back of his utility than he was on the Neon. It might be a controversial opinion, but I think that when Deadly is on that Jet, he's just super comfortable compared to any other agent. And with that lack of comfort, it seemed like Reckoning were really struggling, and they were also having quite a few discipline issues, I believe. There were a lot of angles that went unchecked, like this instance. And of course, more than that, a lot of the players, especially Rio as well as Harsh, they got super overeager. They gave a lot of 1v1s away. And, literally the first pistol round, the one which could have completely changed the story of this map in this half, that was lost mainly because Rio and Harsh decided to get a little bit too overeager as opposed to playing for time. And, well, that's Reckoning, but you also have to talk about what True Rippers did right. And I think one of the biggest impactful players to show up on this map was Crosshair. Like you mentioned, impeccable Crosshair placement, but more than that, he was exactly in the right place at the right time on that chamber.
Yep.
You saw him on that second half have so much impact with that operator as well as the headhunter, and that's exactly what was able to net them this particular map, I believe. Look at this. The swing and, of course, the tap, his aim-wise as well, so precise, and that's exactly what's going to get it for them. The MVP for the side of True Rippers is going to be Sai, but look at Crosshair. It's literally so close. Like if Crosshair had gotten one more kill, he would be the MVP instead. Both of these players stepping up huge when it comes to frags. But the entire team, I would say, for the side of True Rippers, they perform so much more consistently and as a team as compared to Reckoning, and that's what's going to get them ascent. That's what's going to steal away Reckoning's map pick.
Exactly. Reckoning Esports, they got to make sure that in their comms as well, they're a lot more comfortable with each other and they're a lot more consistent when it comes to those rotations, the plays they're about to make as well. Information has to be rampant and it has to be reliable as well. Whenever you are acting on info given by your teammates, whether it's there's a player in XYZ position, can you please check it? Can you live drone the entry fragger while you're going to the bomb site? All sorts of that. Many, many, many hundreds of examples that can be given. But yeah, similar to that, Reckoning Esports got to make sure that now they buckle up and they stop making almost all of the mistakes they have been, because this is the time. Reckoning as a team, we've known them through the ages, whether it be the different rosters that they've had. As an organization, Reckoning has been a part of South Asian Valorant for ages, time and time and time. And now here in the Challenger Series as well, I don't think Reckoning would like to be knocked out in the qualifier, in the first qualifier just yet. Yes, they will have that opportunity to, get in the second qualifier, qualify from there, be in the group stages, be amongst the 8 best teams of the region. But it is going to be that last shot. They won't have any chance of redemption. Right now, they have the safety net. Next time, it's going to get a lot more pressures on their side, and they may not be able to, surmount under that pressure. You never really know. So here, they have that chance. They definitely don't want to give it away. True Rippers, on the other hand, they have been looking on the up and up and up. Their recent results, it's a lot of improvement. There are still the doubts of, the long term nature of a roster, that of this current roster that True Rippers have, because every single time, they have been players leaving the team, leaving the organization, joining back in, new signings, new players, all that, the substitutions, the rotations, all of that has been happening. Is this the final roster True Rippers are looking to have for a long time? I'm not just talking about, the Challenger series that we have here, the arena that we have in August next month. Overall, pretty much for like the remaining year that we have, the remaining 5.5 months, whatever that's there. Is this what True Rippers are looking for? Can they sustain this kind of like what Reckoning have managed to do with their own current roster once they picked it way back? But again, those are major, major theories. I don't want this to turn into a podcast. It is going to still be a broadcast. Very, very soon, map number 2, it is going to be Icebox. We'll be starting it up. But before that, we'll be taking a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics. legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Welcome back everyone to AMD Ryzen and Windows 11 present the Esports Club Challenger Series for Valorant, powered by Crucial, alongside our broadcast partner Loco. I'm CSV, joined alongside Zach, and today we are bringing to you the final set of matches in the quarterfinals that are remaining in the first qualifier to determine which will be the first two teams moving on forward into the group stages, and then we'll have two more teams joining. And it is going to be an amazing event. The group stage is the online group stages, 8 of the best teams in South Asia competing against each other, and the top 4 out of them will be moving on forward into the Esports Club Arena LAN event taking place same time next month. It is going to be amazing. Again, you can go into the description, get yourself some free tickets. It is going to be in Bangalore, the largest gaming festival India will have in 2022. Definitely so much is going to be there, not just Valorant. Every single game you can think of, every single esports title you can think of, it's all going to be under one roof. And trust me, it seats thousands, that venue. So get yourself there as soon as possible. But right now, enough about, Bangalore. Let's go to some chilly valleys of Icebox as we move on forward with True Rippers against Reckoning Esports.
I mean, Bangalore is pretty cool too, which is one of its nice things. I would say it's one of my favorite places to visit just because of the nice weather. But yes, Icebox is a bit more colder than Bangalore, as the name suggests. So looking at the Asian comps coming in for these teams, it seems like One Tap got. It seems like True Rippers, they're gonna stick to the tried and tested meta comp, which has honestly worked out fantastic for them. They put up a very very dominating show against Metal Esports, I believe, in the last few days on this particular map. And well, YFX word isn't broken, right? That's exactly what's gonna be the case here as the lineup comes through. They are going to be opting to run the chamber, but it seems like Badlov, he's going to switch to the KJ instead. Perhaps the man's not feeling it, but he is quite good on the KJ. We've seen him in the beginning as well when Icebox came out. He was one of the few players who opted to go in for the KJ, even though chamber was slowly becoming meta then. So that's going to be interesting. And Harsh on the Sage as well. So, I was hoping that one of these teams, they would go for the Sage, go for a KO instead of the Sage, but I think that the versatility that Sage provides, it's just going to be that much more important, especially when you're on the attacking side. You do want that wall down to buy some additional time to get the plant down, to block off a particular angle. A lot of things can be done with the Sage, and Reckoning, well, they're going to be starting off on attack. Deadly has switched back to the Jets, so I'm expecting a lot of action coming in from that particular player. But apart from that, I think it's a pretty balanced comp from both of these teams here.
It's pretty much the same thing with it's going to be double Sentinel on one hand. You do have Killjoy and Sage on the other. It's going to be Chamber and Sage. Yeah, the common ground being Sage. Of course, as the controller, Viper, it's Icebox. Viper just holds, what, 90% of the territory right here. You barely see any other controllers. It's the same case as is on Breeze, even on Pearl. But the thing is, on Pearl, you are running, and everyone is running into those double controller compositions just of the sheer length and the width that map has. Brimstone as well is a necessity alongside Viper, and we are seeing plenty of that. But Pearl still ever changing. Meta is evolving. We are not into a fixed meta as of now, unlike Icebox, which has been pretty much the same for throughout eternity. We have had a couple of map changes given by the developers as well that have taken place in the A bomb side towards mid, towards B, but the core strategy, the theory remains the same. On attack, Viper, toxic screen, B bomb side, you evade all those swarm grenades the killjoys throw at you, you sage wall it off, you plant the spike, you play the post plant from behind. And this is a tactic we are seeing in Pearl as well. So yeah, many parallels that can be drawn. But right now, is that exactly what Reckoning are going to follow on their own attack? Let's wait and watch.
Yeah, and of course, Deadly, he's going to be leading the charge on that jet. Does have that dash activated, will be using that updraft to cover ground more quickly. And off the back of, perhaps that recon bull being broken, they do know that multiple players are coming in for this A site here. Deadly tries to go for the peak, but Sai is going to reign supreme and will get the kill. Backed up by one tap god. Again, this attack falling apart for Reckoning. This time, it's going to be them again giving away these precious 1v1s to the side of True Rippers, and they're going to be paying for that. Badlove at least knows that there's nobody on the flank. He's going to be looking down mid, possibly trying to see if he can get some kind of B control, but there are still two players that he has to contend with. We saw how deadly Crosshair in particular can be with this Headhunter pistol, and I think that's going to be the sound cue given away. He knows that there's a player towards here. He knows that Badlove might be here, and what he's going to get that pick. But that Reckoning's attack is falling apart. Just two players left right now. Make that one, as yet again Sai will find another for his troubles. Rio, Nova versus Sora. Rio does catch Sai in the reload, but unlike Rio, Sai has friends, all four of his teammates behind him, and he's going to be able to get that flawless round for True Rippers, and this is not a promising start for Reckoning.
Absolutely isn't. I mean, a flawless pistol round win. Zach, I'm not going to lie. I can't remember the last time I saw a flawless pistol win from True Rippers. This was looking really good. Reckoning, unfortunately, not getting the ground they needed, not at all. They managed to get zero traction out of it, and they slipped and fell. Right now, for them, another problem arises. Not only is it going to be, True Rippers with better weaponry, they've got the Spectres, they've got the full armor Marshall been brought out from One Tap God as well. But unfortunately for Reckoning, they can't get any of their own weapons. They have to save for the next round, and definitely they are not going to be forced by, not at this hour anyways, when it is so early into the game. You don't want to take a major economical risk with potentially minimal rewards. You don't. It's a very desperate tactic that teams go for when there's no other hope remaining. Right now, Classics it is against Marshall. One Tap God will be good for one. He's waiting on a signal to try and get another before the A site is walled off. Reckoning don't want to proceed forward as it's practically walking into a Venus flytrap as mosquitoes. They're still trying to find some kind of lease to move forward.
The mosquito metaphor really killed me there, as with that they're gonna be backing off from the A side. They realize that they don't have anything to try and really push One Tap God off of these angles which he's holding with that Marshall, especially against no armors. It's gonna be so tough for them to really make any kind of headway with that barrier orb as well, slowing things further. It seems like they still want to at least go towards this A side. Ember's gonna get a lot of information here. He's gonna know that this wall is being broken, but are they gonna clear this corner is the question. They do, but nevertheless Ember and One Tap God, they're doing so much damage here as they try to hold on to this side. Yep, just one player left right now. Pixels does find one for his troubles, but it's not gonna matter for much, and it's not even gonna be like huge because I believe that Sai only had a ghost, so he's gonna be able to retrieve that Spectre. So that's gonna be practically no economic damage done. But this is where you think, are True Rippers gonna be playing for a bonus, or are they gonna have at least one hero rifle in play? Because Ember, he can afford to buy that Vandal, he can afford to be the difference maker, but nope, he's just gonna hold on to that Spectre instead. And True Rippers, well, heading into this bonus, there is Sai on the Vandal, so they do have one player with the weaponry to go head to head against Reckoning's full buy. The question is, will that be enough? Will they be able to get this bonus? Let's find out.
It is a toss to ask from True Rippers, but then again, their form has been looking impeccable, but more so Reckoning. They are not looking like the most confident team right now. Ever since the events that took place on Ascent, Reckoning have been knocked down. And it is just going to be, momentum for them. Can they gather it back? Can they get back into the match, both literally and mentally? Can they fight off against the likes of True Rippers who hold all the advantage in the world? The cards are favoring them. The deck is stacked against Reckoning Esports, but they are still going to try and call the bluff of True Rippers. They are still going to move forward. Opening kill goes their way, and they have another decision to make. Do we stick with the B execute? Because they are going to encounter very defensive agents. On B, you've got the Viper, you have the help of the Sova. On A, the Sage Wall stands tall alongside the slow orbs present from Ember. He doesn't have the best of weapons, but still, he is Ember, mind you. So Reckoning Esports seems like they have chosen their bomb site. Now it's just the method with which they want to execute.
I think they're just waiting out for this barrier up to go down, but Ember, he finds that first pick already with that Sova going down. It's going to make things so much more difficult. Ember, can he get another? Nope, he will be punished there, but nevertheless, every single bit of damage with the players, which the players from the side of True Rippers do, it's going to be huge here for them heading into this next round. With that, the Spike at least will be able to go down as Pixel chooses to go for the default plan. And this is the advantage of running a Killjoy and a Viper. You're going to have so much utility to try and stall any kind of post plant with. You can already see the Nano Swarms going down along with the Viper getting ready for her lineups here. Master, though, he's going to be using his own to try and clear out these corners, but Deadly, he's still on site, and unless they clear him out, it's going to make things very, very difficult for the side of these True Ripper players. Deadly knows he's going to be able to take down site. Can he get the second? Will be able to reset with that dash, but it's going to be a 1v4 and Master. I don't know how much more he can find here. Gets one, but Bad Love will trade it out, and with that, Reckoning get their first round. It wasn't flawless, but it was nevertheless a good round, and off the back of that, they're going to have a lot of these ultimates that they've been working towards very, very close. Like the Lockdown, for example, it can be one of the most important ultimates in this attacking half, because if you're going to be close to it, you can take the entire A side practically bloodlessly. So that is going to be something to watch out for. But on the opposite side, look at Ember. He already has his Resurrection almost online. And One Tap God, well, he's going to be investing in that Operator.
One Tap God, not an entire glass cannon operator right there, but still half armor. Seems like he has more than enough confidence in his capabilities to get those kills already propped up towards tunnel. He will be peeking soon from mid. He may catch Harsh, I think, if the Sage decides to peek. But overall, the members of Reckoning Esports quite spread out. You know, you've got two very defensive players on the A bomb side, the Viper and the Sage, and then you have the bulk of their attack. An Initiator alongside their only duelist on board, Deadly and Rio. We know this is a fantastic duo to get those openers. They have worked miracles in the past, but right now, when Reckoning need them the most, they need to step up. Mind you, One Tap God is still there with the operator. We can see on the minimap the sliver of the angle he has. So if rotations happen on the B bomb side, he will catch them. And especially since the spike is going from A towards B, One Tap God better be careful. Now he falls back, and now Reckoning prepare themselves for yet another execute. Question is, will they be successful or will they fall?
Crosshair is the player to watch out here because he's going to be anchoring down the yellow. I don't think there's any utility remaining for the side of Reckoning to clear it out except for that recon bolt which is finally recharged. The Crosshair, he's able to dodge it out till the end, just get away with his life at 30 HP and will be able to take down Harsh. That's going to be the wall not there for planting, and that's going to make things so much more difficult right now for Reckoning, as with that spray, it's going to be some armor at least taken off the back of Pistols. But the spike is down, and Pixels, he not only has the lineups, but he's only one away from that Viper split, so that can be huge heading into this round here. They do know that there's at least one player towards yellow. They have to push Deadly out of this angle, and they have to take care of him before they can really try and get the defuse here. Both the wall will come down, and that's going to give away the position of these players at the very least. Ember finding one. Can he get more is a question, but so far it seems like Bad Luck on the lurk, and Pixels are cleaning things up, already making his way towards mid, and they have to take care of this double threat right now. A 1v2 side with only a Sheriff to his name. Can he find anything? Nope. Deadly is going to be the helicopter jet this time around, and with that Reckoning take two. And I think True Rippers, that's going to be the buy broken as well. The economy is completely reset.
Yeah, for True Rippers, you know, I think they were looking for... I mean, they sacrificed a lot. They had the operator, they had the rifles as well. A couple of them had gone for those, but it just didn't work out towards the end. The armor went away. A couple of the utility remained, but no, it was an exceptional take from Reckoning through and through. Their take was good. The post plan was excellent as well. That flank from Bad Love really set things straight and showed it to not just True Rippers, but to everyone watching that no, Reckoning are not out of this. They are going to fight for everything that they've got on this map, and if they can push it on Haven as well. True Rippers have got to be a lot more fearful. They've got to be a lot more careful with how they proceed with things. They cannot give up a lot of the map control. This isn't Ascent anymore, where the retakes seem to be working time and time again. I mean, on Ascent, it was a lot of back and forth. This time, the defenders, they have to fight for that map control. And again, we are seeing True Rippers. Right now, they've got nothing to lose. They've just got upgraded pistols. They can keep these angles. Master is trying to do just that, but he's gone alongside his teammate Sai. As the initial two casualties to fall, the spike's gonna go down in the B bomb site, and Wrecking now have total control.
2v5 right now, as they know why these players are remaining. Deadly and Harsh are just gonna clean it up, and it's going to be a flawless for the side of Reckoning. To be fair, they were up against Pistols, but they didn't really invest much in that round, and they have all the ultimates in the world to try and take the next one as well. They have almost all of them. In fact, Rio's only 2 away from his, and well, I think off the back of just Bad Love's lockdown as well as Pixel's Vipers, but that A side is gonna look extremely juicy right now as they try to make their way forward. Finally, a full buy does come in for True Rippers, but they're not able to really hold on to these sides. And you gotta forget about retake when you're going up against a Viper, a Killjoy, and a Sova. If those 3 are alive, there's just no way you're getting the side back, because all they have to do is play lineups and post plant, and that's exactly what Pixels has been doing so far. A fantastic tactic coming in from them, and they're playing so slowly. They're ready. They're aware of the True Rippers. They're likely to make mistakes as they get more and more flustered, and that's exactly what they're capitalizing on. Yet again, Deadly off the back of that Sova recon will be leading the charge as they try to get some B control, but this is just bait because it's Spike as well as Bad Love, I believe. They're just going to be waiting towards the A side. The rotation from the side of True Rippers is good as well, because it's only going to be Ember yet again trying to hold down this A side all alone, and if they push him all together, he's not going to be able to hold back that eye unless he does some exceptional shooting. Right now, though, with 1 minute left on the clock, it seems like Reckoning, they're ready for their execute and their push onto this A site here.
They are. What they don't know completely is exactly what they're up against now. Lucky for them, right now it's just the Sage by herself. The Sova rotates forward. How long can True Rippers hold off? And the main question is, can they buy enough time for the reinforcements to come back in? Ember alone on the bomb side, he can evade the Killjoy lockdown. He spots Rio and he will be flushed out of this corner. Is he going to be? Yeah, he is going to be completely detained. He gets 1 kill. Reckoning are ready with the take, and yep, 2 kills in their favor. Spike's gonna go down, but look at that. From the other side of the map, from the attacker spawn, come to defenders looking to defend their honor, looking to defend their bomb side, retake it. Crosshair takes down Bad Love, and now the attackers are cornered off. All they have is the cover of this Viper's pit. There is Sai from the northern side. They are the attackers from the south. They are going to be closing in on the remaining players of Reckoning alive, and they are trying to pick them off one by one. They take the most valuable player out. Viper alongside the Viper's pit now gone. Utility can be used to, push these attackers away. Harsh had to peek from that snake bite. He had no choice. Neither did Rio. He still had to give his life to the cause. Unfortunately, it's not going to go the way of Reckoning Esports. True Rippers, after a heavy investment, but a brilliant retake, finally strike back.
Ooh, that was really, really good coming in from them, especially the flank. Like I mentioned, they realized that the post plant from the side of Reckoning is too strong and they have to deal with it. And once they got rid of Bad Love, well, the Reckoning had no information as to how many players were coming from which angle. I think Bad Love would have said there were 2, but they didn't know where Sai was until very late. And off the back of that, they are going to be able to snatch that round away. And it was an expensive round for the side of Reckoning because they used 2 of their key ultimates heading into it. Yet again, they are looking to head in for the A side. The question is, will it work yet this time around? At least the last time they managed to get the plant. This time though, it's gonna be one tap god who does a lot of damage to Deadly, and he will be able to heal back up. But with that, the A side, at least the first blood has been drawn by the side of True Rippers, even if it hasn't been completed. Off the back of this recon, they will know that there are so many players waiting for them here. The Hunter's Fury being invested as well. Rio trying to desperately find a pick with it, will be able to take down Ember, but in the meantime, One Tap God is going to be able to find the Sage, and that's the resurrection offline for Reckoning. A 3v3 right now, as they still desperately, both these sides are fighting for the site here.
They are, and it's going to be a back and forth. True Rippers, they're not giving up map control because it's a fair fight. Reckoning do not outnumber the likes of the defenders right now, and this is the advantage the team in blue have. They don't need to fall back. They've got information as well. Rio swings wide, gives his position away. Crosshair, can he stay alive? Yes, he can, and he was the perfect distraction for his teammates to strike in and take the round. True Rippers are now again looking good, and every single time it is momentum based. I know I've said this so many times, even on Ascent as well. I'm pretty sure the viewers would be getting tired of me saying the same phrase over and over again, but the thing is, I have to say it because it is very, very applicable. The entirety of this best of 3, in a way I can say, it has been very momentum based. Whichever team is getting the momentum back in their favor, they are winning in multiple rounds. It's never a 1-1-1. It's not how you would expect like an overtime to go. You know, if True Rippers are winning, they're winning by the ton. If Reckoning are doing so, they're getting more and more rounds to their name at a single consecutive time. It's kind of like the Bulldog burst fire rounds. It's not single taps. So for True Rippers, they've got all the advantage. But there is also that lingering question everyone has in the back of their minds. How long is it going to last? True Rippers have 4 ultimates currently. You know, the Resurrection is going to be quite potent, but Reckoning, they have taken a tactical timeout. And we know Reckoning, keep on taking those. We saw them take it on Ascent as well, Godspeed. You know, I'm very certain he is speaking a lot to the players about how they should proceed further. But Reckoning can strike at any point, and all it takes is a couple good placed kills, really good positioning, really solid executions, which we know Reckoning can pull off, and they'll be back into it. So it's not like the entire round is out of the hands just yet, but True Rippers can definitely extend that, and already we are seeing reminiscence of it since the Tour de Force is now out.
Ooh, but the positioning of both of these ultimates is not really in favor of the side of True Rippers right now. Never mind, I take that back because Sai has the Hunter's Fury ready. He is aware, and all that experience is going to come into play here. And off the back of that, with this going to be One Tap God who takes down, gets that first blood onto the Sage yet again. So again, the Resurrection is not going to be available for Reckoning, and this is a pivotal round for them. This is the round where they have to use to steal away the momentum. And with that One Tap God, he's going to be able to find another. A rare miss coming in from Crosshair, but that might not be enough here, as One Tap God is on fire, already getting 3 on the round here. Knows the position of the other player as well. Can he get a 4th? Yep, he connects the shot. A 1v5 right now as Rio desperately tries to clutch things out. One Tap God, he's hungry though. He wants this ace. Rio will deny him of it, but it seems like the round is still going to go in favor of True Rippers. And Rio, well, all he wants to do is save the gun, but I don't think True Rippers wants to let him do that because Emperor's gonna hunt him down, take him off the board. And with that, the timeout as well as the economy, they're not gonna come to much avail for the side of Reckoning.
No, I mean, for Reckoning Esports, they had a major discussion, yet the fruits of their labor, they are not the best, or yeah, they're not the most optimal. Reckoning are still looking to get back into it, but it's the same problem they had for themselves in the first half of Ascent, the first map, where True Rippers were building on that lead time and time and time again, and Reckoning just weren't able to catch back to it, and eventually it costed them. It costed them the map. They were down 12-6. They managed to get a couple of rounds on board, but it meant that True Rippers secured the map. Again, RGE do not want to get into that situation. We have seen the results of that already just 30 minutes ago. So why would Reckoning want to replicate it? They need to strike early on. And at this point, I'm unfortunately going to say this, but like even a 5-7 half isn't enough. Reckoning need to equalize the score before the side swap takes place. Otherwise, True Rippers again will be at an advantage. This time though, Sai. Oh, that was risky and it did not pay off. Granted, yes, Reckoning don't have the best of weaponry, but you never peak in such a vulnerable position all alone. That is most importantly against multiple attackers. Still, that's only the Sova gone off the board. Who knows? Maybe True Rippers can still secure this easily, but Reckoning, they are looking to rush somewhere.
Seems like they are going to be going in for that mid push yet again, but both Master and One Tap God seem like they're ready for it. That Cloudburst is going to give away Deadly Tense position, and he has to stay alive because he and Badlove are the tip of the spear on this Reckoning attack right now. One with the Vandal, the other with the Blade Storm, and they know that mid has been covered. They know that the A side is available for taking burst. So we're looking at a full-on 5v5 retake, and looking at the spike position being planted, it seems like they are yet again going to be trying to go for this post-plant play. In this 5v5 though, the flank is huge from the side of these True Ripper players as they are hunting for them right now. But Rio, he's going to be able to get that first pick. The Blade Storm from One Tap God. It's pristine, it's precise. It's all down to just pixels, and he's not going to be able to find anything as One Tap God, he goes ballistic. 2 rounds in a row right now. He's been the cause of Reckoning getting reckoned at, and I think that's going to be fantastic for his highlight reel.
Oh, One Tap God. I mean, I don't think he lacks clips for any highlight reels, but this is going to be just a drop in the bucket. But it's not going to be any lesser than the previous plays we have seen from his side. Still, look at that impressive crosshair placement, pretty much. Yeah, going through the air, the movement as well, the tracking on the opposition. I know I'm like diving very like into the minuscule details of that play, but it is aim after all. Everyone wants to improve their aim no matter where you are. Even if you're the best in the world, you want to get better. Or if you are in the irons, in the silvers like me, you still want to get better with your aiming capabilities. So yeah, again, great stuff from One Tap God. Simple as ever, secure the round. Most importantly, it's for the team. And for the side of True Rippers, the team play is what matters, and they are excelling at it. Cross again. He knows he's quite aggressive, but he has the rendezvous to his aid this time. The sound cue. Oh, this was a beautiful juke play from the side of Reckoning Esports. Crosshair. Sorry to say, he fell for it. He fell for that play. Reckoning Esports outsmarted him in that instance. Beautiful little maneuver right there, and it cost True Rippers their first.
However, the spike, they still haven't made the decision as to where they want to go. One tap God will be taken down, but Sai is at least there for the backup. And yet again, no resurrection is going to be available for the side of Reckoning Esports. Pixels, he has to be able to get that pick or at least stay alive. But Sai and Ember, they're on the hunt here. Pixels is able to at least keep things in the advantage of Reckoning Esports as he is able to trade out that particular pick. But nevertheless, going for the B side, and Master, he has a huge task on his hands right now as he has to prevent the spike from going down. And yep, Bad Love is going to be investing that lockdown as well because they need to win this round no matter what. The tap does come through, and it seems like Pixels is going to be content to wait it out until they know that these players have been pushed off the side before he decides to invest the Viper's Pit. The thing is that he doesn't have the ultimate, so he can't really guarantee the round. Ember already finding one, but look at Bad Love. He's playing close. This is a dangerous game. Master, he has to clear this. If he doesn't, it's going to be so rough, and he does do it. Just one player left right now. Pixels, you've seen him win out these situations before. He does seem like he wants to play a little bit of a lineup game, but the time is still on the side of True Rippers. However, he's made his way forward. If he can find the timing, it might be what Reckoning needs, but it's not going to happen. And with that, the retake and the defuse are successful. That was a 2v3 retake, and I think what exactly, but you know what, Reckoning lost. They lost when Bad Love decided to get a little bit too aggressive. They weren't able to play the numbers game. They weren't able to really get, keep their advantage. And with that, a 3v2 becomes a 2v1, and it's just a round for Reckoning.
Thing was, we're seeing in the replay as well, right? All of these 2v3 kills, all of them isolated gunfights. Reckoning did not play off of each other. They held their own angles. So essentially, this wasn't a 3v2. It was more like a 2v1, another 2v1, another 2v1. True Rippers were able to isolate those gunfights, and it's a big sin that many attacking teams can make in their post plans when they are prioritizing a lot of the positioning, but they are giving up on the crossfires that can be maintained or that should be maintained. Now, though, True Rippers really on the aggressive. All right, something got into them, but they are gone out. Or well, they are trying to get pushed out of this round by the members of Reckoning Esports who exploit this over-aggressive nature on the side of the defense. Big risk True Rippers took, and honestly, it was very unnecessary. Why they invested so much into this kind of a play, they have to suffer the consequences. Reckoning, 5 versus 3 scenario, they've got the utility, they have the Viper's Pit available to them, and they can just simply rotate away because not only do they have the man advantage, they have plenty of time to work with. True Rippers, major mistake, and I think it's going to cost them.
Yeah, and at least the one thing is that Reckoning, they really want to win this round no matter what. That's why Harsh invested that ultimate, that resurrection, to make sure that the manpower firmly remains in the hands of Reckoning as opposed to True Rippers. But look at this, the repositioning, the rotation from the side of True Rippers is perfect here. If Reckoning gets a little bit too overeager, they're going to really pay for it here. Again, Master, he's going to be able to spot out the Sage and Crosshair as well. He's going to be playing up close, and with that, the spike at least will be planted. But oh, Crosshair, he's going to hit the head of Deadly, who gets caught on the cross. With that, things look much more doable now. A 4v3, but they still have both Bad Love as well as Pixels to try and deal with. The spike is going to be tapped, but Rio, look at him. His position here is so close, and if he doesn't go cleared, it's going to be huge. He's going to hear all the players right now. Will be able to get the second as well. Spots out the remaining 2 players. Sai will finally shut him down, but the damage has been done. And Reckoning, even if they are losing players, they're buying so much time in the process. And look at this post plant coming in. You can see Sai desperately trying to hit the shot, but he's not going to be able to do so. And I think with that, the timer is up, and Bad Love and Pixels will clean it up. And finally, Reckoning, they show exactly why you can't let True Rippers can't let them get the spike down, because the moment they do, it's over.
Yeah, the post plans of Reckoning, either they go really well for them or they go disastrously bad. It's one of the two. In the previous round, it did not go so well, but right now they turned the tide question is it a little too late? Because as I was saying early on, at the very least, Reckoning need to equalize the half 6-6 before the side swap takes place. And that's at the very least. Unfortunately for them, that's not possible. Best case scenario is again a 5-7, just like what had happened on Ascent. And we saw True Rippers. Once the side swap happens, they can win and win and win, and there will be no stopping them. But again, different map, different sides, different tactics. You never really know. Still, Reckoning cannot give that opportunity to the likes of TR. Already, it's still the final round of the first half. We are not done with it, but Crosshair is not done with holding such an angle before he rendezvous off. He gets the Viper. The Viper Spit is gone. Reckoning Esports, they invest another ultimate into this round. This time it's the Hunter's Fury. Doesn't get anyone, but still buys enough time to plant the spike.
Going to be a 2v4 retake in one tap court. He's already on the flank here with Battle of going down. They might not be aware of it. He spotted out the barrel of Rio's gun. So he's just going to be patiently playing some trigger discipline. Knows where Deadly is as well, I think. And as he's not afraid, he's going to be going forward. Tries to get the helicopter shot yet again. But every time he goes for this maneuver, somebody else from his team gets that kill. And I hope that he's not feeling too pissed about it. But nevertheless, a convincing half from the side of True Rippers, who take it 8-4. And this is the thing, right? This is a map where even with the recent changes that have been made, it is still rather attacker-sided. If you go to VLR or run it back and you look at the statistics for Icebox, the attacking side in general has a lot more success unless the opponents are playing like an exceptionally defensive comp. So I think True Rippers will be feeling very, very happy about their performance on that particular half, especially heading into this one, because for the side of Reckoning, they only really had Deadly as the tip of the spear. But with that chamber, with Crosshair on that chamber, he had an underwhelming first half. But we've seen how he gets when he wakes up. So both one tap Cord and Crosshair, they're ready to frag out. They're ready to take True Rippers home with a possible 2-0 here.
Yeah, I mean, it really would be a very unexpected result, or 2-0. I mean, in the pre-match presentation, both of us, we had pretty much an agreed opinion that at the very least we are seeing overtime on one of the maps. This cider map will be brought out in in a major likelihood, but no, True Rippers, they are not thinking about any of that. And right now, and again, the 1 minute of tactical timeout both of the rosters have amidst the halftime, very different discussions taking place at the two boot camps. True Rippers, like you said, Zach, they want to end this. They want to end this right here, right now. Do not waste any time. They had troubles closing the map of Ascent. They would not like that to take place on Icebox. For Reckoning, keep the hopes alive, but it's gotta happen right now, and that's the major problem. Both of these teams, they're fighting for so much. They are fighting for that chance to get into the group stages, to get into the arena, be a part of the top 4 that we have here in South Asia, get into the LAN event that will be taking place on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of August. Again, we will have the finals of the Challenger Series. We will have daily tournaments, community tournaments as well. Even for Valorant, registrations will be at the venue. So again, get yourself some tickets. The tickets to the venue are free, but if you do not live in Bangalore, you will have to travel like me. So again, go in the description, get yourself some tickets, get yourself, everything readied up. Pack your bags very, very soon. This time next month, we will be having the grand final. So it's just a 30-day wait. And honestly, I know it sounds weird, but just like a child on Christmas night, I am counting down the days before the LAN takes place.
You're not the
Everyone
only one.
is right.
Yeah, me too. I'm already looking at flight tickets to be there in Bangalore for this event. But anyway, heading into this particular pistol round, Pixels is gonna hear quite a bit of noise being made towards that B main, and off the back of that, he's gonna be investing that retake wall quite early. But that was just some bait. After collecting the ultimate orb, they are gonna be booking it back towards the A site where the spike is as well. So there are 2 players from Reckoning who have to try and stop it here. The Sage as well as the Jet. The headshot angle being played by Deadly is gonna instead reveal his head as Crosshair takes him down. I mentioned that he's someone to watch out for. Utility as well being placed by the Killjoy, as well as I believe the Sova is going to do some damage, but nevertheless the spike will go down. And with that, Reckoning, they're going to be in this 5v3 retake position here. They don't really have much to work with. At least the Recon Bolt is available for the Sova here, but Crosshair, he's still hungry. He still wants more. Will be able to connect the second headshot? Nope. But it's not going to matter as Master is there for the cleanup. Gets the headshot onto Pixel as well, and the lurk from Sai, that's going to be able to clean things up. Yet again, Rio in a 1v5, a sliver of HP to his name, and a second flawless pistol for the side of True Rippers. They are really ripping Reckoning up. That's the only way you can say it. First on Ascent, and now here. Are we going to see a repeat? I think they got 5 rounds in a row on the second half, and If this is
Yes.
how they're going to be playing, it could be a repeat, very much so.
Absolutely. Another flawless pistol round win. I mean, all right. I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what's happening to Reckoning as well because True Rippers, it's a very simple tactic they have. And in pistol rounds as well, you, with the less amount of utility generally that you have, the positioning as well, not to mention the guns, the armor, you can't completely always like outsmart your opponents a lot compared to how much you'll be able to achieve in full buys with the ultimates as well. But still, the fact that True Rippers have managed to, get two flawless pistol round wins. Exceptional stuff right here. Reckoning definitely need to go and look at the wards of Icebox whenever they'll be playing Icebox next. Wherever it is, they have to focus on these pistols. Now, though, they still have the pistols. The thing is, there is a major difference. True Rippers right now, they have got the Spectres, though, in close quarter combat. The pistols are equally as lethal as the Spectres. Master also falls down, and Reckoning are collecting these guns like their trophies. Thing is, True Rippers collect a free card to the bomb site, free pass to the B bomb site, free access to plant the spike as well. But in this post plant, they are up against some odds.
Yeah, well, it seems like the attackers and defenders have completely switched sides here. It's kind of amusing to me as one tap god. He's going to peek out, get a collab for his troubles. Can he get a third? Yep, he does. And it's going to come down to just bad luck right now. What looked like a round could have easily gone Reckoning's way has yet again switched back. The momentum has shifted again towards True Rippers. And again, it seems like one tap god is ready to really, show exactly why that's his name. 3 on the round. Can he get the 4th? Does spot out the plate. And yep, he's going to clean bad luck up like nobody business and get that Spectre back as well. So that round, Reckoning started off so well. They got those first picks. They managed to pick up 2 Spectres, but they just were not ready for those sheriff shots from one tap god. And this is his 3rd 4K of this map. Last on Ascent, he looked a little bit underwhelming, but it seems like, he's like, Crosshair, look, you did the heavy lifting on Ascent. We're on Icebox now. I'm a Jet. This is my home ground, and I'll show you exactly why I'm called one tap god. And look at him, 19 and 8. Wow.
Yeah, it's the 8. That's also like 19 and 8 as a Jet. Whenever you're the entry fragger, you are known to get into the faces of the opposition. You are the spearhead of the attack, and it brings its own risks with itself. It means that more or less you will be dying very, very often. But one tap god, he doesn't care about the risk. Look at him, all alone, guns blazing into the A bomb site against 3 defenders. That's another. Now, finally, he has been shut down by the likes of Reckoning Esports, but the damage has been done. 2 defenders are now gone. The attackers, great diversion tactic. They move up to B. The stage wall goes through. They can plant the spike unless Pixels can deny it. Yes, he can. The snake bite, excellent positioning through the toxic screen. Still, can't buy enough time to prevent the spike from going down, but the rotations are here, and Rio, easy collection day for him. 2 kills to his name now.
Crosshair, he's the player to watch out for. He knows what Rio is. He knows what Pixels was. And as long as he can get a couple of kills in Rendezvous away, it might be what the side of True Rippers need to convert this bonus round here, which they've invested very heavily in. They are going to tap the spike and Crosshair. He's going to be forced off the angle. Has to go forward. Tries to, Rendezvous away, but it's not going to work out. Yet again, it seems like they're going to try to stick the spike. He finds one, but Rio, with that ace, is going to keep Reckoning's hopes and dreams alive. Especially, the fact that he managed to get both the planter as well as the person covering him, that was what converted the round in Reckoning's favor. And of course, Pixels with the delay tactics. It shows like Reckoning, they're not going down without a fight. And off the back of that round, I think that True Rippers, they were feeling very confident and they invested significantly in it. So there are going to be 1 or 2 players who won't have much of a buy. No, never mind. They're all going to be able to afford things, except for Crosshair, who does have his headhunters. So, nevertheless, a good round for him, Reckoning. One that they really, really needed, because if they had lost that, I think that would have been the map over.
That is true. True Rippers, getting 11 rounds and worsening the economy of Reckoning Esports, it would not have been a good concoction. But now, Crosshair, he gets the rifle. Rather, it's going to be one top god with the blade storm. We've already seen what can happen with these blades. And Reckoning Esports going for a very early on to Fury, but it pays off. Oh my god. Rio, superb placement right there. Takes down Master without any repercussions whatsoever, because it means that True Rippers, they have lost their only controller on attack on the map of Icebox. Now they really have to rely on their gunfights. There is no other way. They need to find a brute force opening into a bomb site, because trying tactically, it's going to end up in vain. You've lost your Viper. There is no resurrection for the time being. Viper isn't coming back. One tap God needs to work his magic. On the other side of the map, Crosshair needs to do something similar. Whoever it is, wherever they are, they have the same objective: get kills on the defenders and try and push up. We can see the spike has been dropped, near towards A main, towards the attacker spawn. That's for a reason. It's again to not allow Reckoning to find any of the members, or also to let easy rotations take place in the spike without too much
30
time being
seconds
wasted.
left.
Time now running out. True Rippers gotta make a move.
Seems like they do want to go in for this B rotation after spotting out 3 towards A, but Pixels, he's still here, and we've seen the delay which this one player can cause. At least one tap god is going to be able to hold a forward position, but the timing is so crucial here. If he's not able to get this pick onto Pixels, that's going to be the round very easily going in the favor of True Rippers, because they still have to get the spike down. Pixels desperately trying to spray, but Sai, he's still making this round work, and with that, it's going to be a 3v3. He's only one away from the Hunter's Fury. Rio against coming up huge will be able to take down Ember, who was caught out of position, but Sai and Crosshair, they have been the heroes for this particular team before. Can they do it again? But nope, Rio is yet again going to come up huge. Last round with an ace, this round with a 4K, and with that Reckoning are 10-6, and suddenly things are looking much more doable for them, because after that round, the economy is in the dumpster for True Rippers, and Reckoning, they're gonna have some crucial ults online. Rio's coming up huge when Reckoning needs him the most.
Yeah, Rio being the stallion that Reckoning Esports need to compete against the likes of True Rippers, who are also getting equal amount of kills. I mean, we talked about one tap god, 21 kills for him, Sai as well on 12. Other than Rio, no one yet from Reckoning has managed to reach double digits when it comes to kills. So Rio is being the hope that they need. And the thing is, if True Rippers are able to isolate that Sova and try and get rid of him, it's going to be exceptional. But then again, Harsh is also present as the Sage. The resurrection is going to be online, even closer now, as Harsh picks up the ultimate orb, falls back safe and sound. But there's not much True Rippers can do about it. The Tode force is there. The remaining attackers, though, only upgraded pistols for them. Sheriffs will be on board, half armor. That's one operator dropped, an expensive gun, and a person gone off the board. But still, Reckoning, it's not that big of a blow that they've been dealt. They have gotten punched. They can bounce back from it. They can hold their ground. That's what matters. On the B bomb side, you have the Killjoy Storm grenades. You have Viper, the most important agent out there when it comes to defense on Icebox. On A, you've got plenty of infantry. Yet again, the pressure of executing, the pressure of making the move falls onto the shoulders of the team in red, falls onto the shoulders of True Rippers. And they're the team who have to move forward.
They do have control of B long, so it looks like they are ready to commit to this B side take. Master as well, he's going to be so important as he tries to catch through the rotation. Pixels will, I think that they're just ready to play the B side for retake, because they do know that they have the weapon advantage. But Master again coming in so huge here, will be able to take down Bad Luck. That's a crucial player, and ult off the board. He gets a little bit too over eager for that weapon and is going to drop. The resurrection from Reckoning being committed right now, but the Hunter's Fury from Sai is ready for it as he tries to desperately hold on to this round. Crosshair, that's going to be the Total Force offline, and what looked like a round that could have very easily gone the way of True Rippers is suddenly falling apart right now as they just go for a diffuse stick. At least it's going to come down to a 1v1, one-tap god, but he's going to be too late to the party as the defuse is still done. And with that Reckoning 10-7, they're on this comeback. They're making it work. It happened the last time around, but this time perhaps they found the timing. They started early enough for it to count. And this round, if they can win it, they are very capable of having the complete comeback. They have that Viper's Pit online. They can shut down either side completely. It seems like Pixels is going to be investing it right off the back onto this A side. So as long as he can hold strong, this B side is going to look a bit more vulnerable, because he's no longer there to defend it. And that's exactly where True Rippers are going to hit. They're aware of these ultimates, and they are going to be making plays based off that.
They will be making plays based off of that. Oh, already one tap god gets the open, and True Rippers, they want to move forward. They don't want to waste any time. The Viper's Pit in the A bomb side goes in vain as the attackers, they keep on pushing towards B. That's their second kill. And now the toxic screen goes through. They can plant the spike. Deadly 10 being again the first person in the bomb side. He's not going to be able to do a lot alongside his compadre Rio. Both of them down 6 feet under, dead out of this round. Pixels stuck in a 1 versus 4. Can he pull this off? Highly unlikely. Wait, can he? Yes. Is it going to happen? Highly, highly unlikely. So, True Rippers, finally, all momentum based. Reckoning were looking hot in pursuit of the team in red. They were like, okay, True Rippers, they have reached double digits. This is getting a little too much. We have to put an end to this. And they tried to. They did. But now True Rippers are like, okay, enough is enough without even needing a tactical timeout. I was going to say something along the lines of that. Maybe True Rippers, they need a timeout. Maybe they need to discuss. They need to, like let some of the steam off, easily go over how to proceed further. The map is not out of their hands. But no, True Rippers go the opposite direction. Let's steam off? Absolutely not. We are going to convert all of that steam into pressurous, like gaseous state. And we are just going to like, I don't know the exact science term, but like explode our way into the bomb side. I'm a commerce student. Science is not my forte, but like I think everyone understands what I'm saying.
Yes, I've got you. I was unfortunately a science student, so yep,
Oh.
you were right. Explosion is the word. And I think a better way to say it is that they got tired of really messing around. They tried, they treated Reckoning with a lot of respect. And that particular one, they were like, you know what, screw it. What do we have to lose? We have the guns, we have the aim, and that's exactly what happens. Right off, One Tap got punishing Harsh for that aggression with the help of his teammates. It was just a full-on send into the B side, and that worked out fantastically for them because this entire time it was Pixels and his utility that made it so difficult for them to attack that B side. But once he rotated over to A with that ultimate, B was more or less free. And this round for Reckoning, it's so important for them because they can't let it go to match point. They've spent whatever they can of their economy into getting a buy here. Some players on Spectres, some players with guns, but with rifles, but light armor. It's going to be so difficult. And it seems like they have the read right. They know that 3 players are towards his B long here. And with One Tap God already taking control of A lobby, they are going to be able to make their way onto the side. However, they have to take down Bad Love because Bad Love, he has the lockdown. He is going to be able to push these players off site. And unless they get an open plant, it's going to make things very, very tough for them if Reckoning decide to play for the retake, which is what the call seems to be as they go for this A hit finally.
Now going to go for the A hit, and Reckoning Esports, they are going to facilitate at least the execute onto the bomb side because like you said, Bad Love, he's got the Killjoy lockdown. Now True Rippers, can they destroy the lockdown if the need be? Likely not. So yeah, it is going to be a retreat of the attackers. They are going to fall back. They have to escape, from the proximity that the lockdown has, allowing Reckoning to strike back into the very bomb side, but still it has costed them Crosshair before going down, before getting detained. Gets 1 kill, the stage wall. Reckoning were trying to stick it, but no, it's not going to work. Or it may just. They leave it. Pixels gets a double. Sai is still there. He's got to swing wide. He has clear line of sight onto the spike. 5 HP. No, he cannot secure it. Reckoning Esports, the retake works.
Like I said it, the lockdown was the win condition that they desperately needed that round. And off the back of that, in the barrier op, they managed to hold on for dear life here. 11-8 right now, as in this particular round, they will be able to at least buy in completely. Both teams are going to have a complete arsenal on board, apart from Deadly, who does have the Blade Storm. Nevertheless, when you do look at True Rippers, they have the Resurrection online, so that's definitely going to net them the advantage. Rio as well with the Hunter's Fury might be able to get an initial pick or deny any kind of plant going down if True Rippers decide to wait too long. It seems like yet again the aggression is going to come in from the side of Reckoning, but right off the bat, that bolt is going to point out Deadly's position and force him to fall back here. A 5v5, yet still as Deadly is not able to find any value with the Blade Storm quite yet, but look at Harsh. If he doesn't go check, he might be able to do a lot here. Spots out the barrel of the gun, but the Sova drone is going to catch him out, and off the back of that, One Tap God is also ready to commit his Blade Storm as well, and he might be able to take down Deadly any second, but never mind. He's just going to be patient because they know they have the man advantage, and it seems like One Tap God, well, he's going to go down to Rio and not find more value. A 4v4 retake is Reckoning. They hold on, try to keep this map going.
They do. Reckoning, they are surrounding all the attackers here in the bomb site, and the members of True Rippers, they are backed off similar positions as to the ones they were holding in the previous round. This time Sage Wall goes off again. It's going to be a full-on stick from Rio. No, it's going to be a half just yet for Reckoning. They still have the grasp over the spike. They can commit to it whenever they want, but Master doesn't allow them. Rio swings, and Sai again in this 1 versus 2 cannot clutch it out for his team. Just a pure replication of the previous round right here from the side of Reckoning Esports. And finally, Dafi, coach for True Rippers, takes a much needed timeout. But the past two rounds, they have been practically the same. Reckoning Esports, they are allowing True Rippers to take side control. They are playing primarily for the retake, and True Rippers are going for that. They are inhibiting into that strategy, and unfortunately for them, they are losing out. Reckoning in the defense looks very strong. They retake, their positioning is good. A couple of the members swing from the right side. They try and clear any attackers who are playing very up close and personal near the spike. Once those are eliminated, the sage wall goes up, and all the attackers, they're at a distance. They need to break the sage wall. They need to look out for any remaining defenders. They need to swing the angles, kill the other defenders. It's just a mess, and there's just so much on the plate of True Rippers to handle that unfortunately they have been failing for the past two rounds.
Failing is an understatement, and it's been so close every single time. You have to point out that one of the utility from the side of Reckoning that has been coming in so clutch in these rounds is that barrier of the Sage Wall doing so much work, letting them get that half diffuse with impunity and confidence. And in this particular round, well, it's going to be a half by one tap god, and Master will have access to those rifles. But apart from that, the economy for the side of True Rippers, it is slowly going into the gutter here. With this, though, they are letting Reckoning have a chance at getting to 11-10 and possibly 11-11. And if they can make this comeback work, we might be heading to Haven after all. Because if you ask me in the first half, especially after True Rippers won the pistol, I would have said that it was very unlikely that we might be seeing Haven. But Reckoning, they're not letting go without a fight. And if they can manage to keep this retake strategy up, if they can manage to keep it going, it might be what they need, heading into these next few rounds, especially considering that the players from the side of True Rippers, they don't have much of a buy. They do have the resurrection again from Ember, and they're only one away from the Toda 4. So perhaps that's why Crosshair is fully buying. He's not going to have money in the next round, but it's not going to matter because he does have that ultimate to work with, and we've seen how powerful it can be. In general, though, I think Reckoning, the fact that they've started playing for retakes is a great idea, and I think that the side of True Rippers, they're not planting the spike in an open enough spot for them to be able to play the post plant the way they're playing. If you want to be playing from that far back, you have to be in a position to view the spike from multiple angles. And so far, that the spike plants that they've given, it's not really helping with that particular aspect. Either way, though, this round, hopefully they will be able to win it, but even if not, they have another few chances. But Reckoning, they're building up the momentum slowly but surely. They've won 5 out of the past 6 rounds, and True Rippers, it seems like their attack is sliding apart here.
Yeah, I mean, for the side of True Rippers, look at that. Every single, like you mentioned, out of those 6 rounds, 5 of them, they've been victories for the side of Reckoning, and all 5 of them, they have diffused the spike. That's also something that matters. Reckoning Esports, they are just playing for the retake time and time again. True Rippers, they've got to think about it. Do they commit to the post run early on? Do they play Icebox as how it's intended? You play it from the back as attackers after getting the spike down? Or do you push forward, try to deal even more damage to the defenders before you commit to the execute? What kind of tactics are they looking for? Right now, potentially weaker buy on the side of True Rippers, like you had mentioned. Economy is getting weaker and weaker. Still, Reckoning allow the spike to go down. No hassles in that whatsoever. True Rippers, can they survive the post plan? That's the major question. The initial gunfight, that matters a lot. Who is going to be the first person to go down? Is it going to be someone on the side of True Rippers or Reckoning? Many gunfights taking place. Master the Viper is gone. Ember strikes back, but yet Reckoning keep on applying the pressure, and True Rippers unfortunately are falling under it.
Yep, that's going to be the round for the side of True Rippers. For the side of Reckoning. The defuse will successfully come through, and I believe that Bad Love got a 3k, and I think that's going to get him very close to or even have the lockdown active. And we've seen how good it can be in these retakes. Reckoning, they're looking flawless on this defense. They're really making it work, and it has to do with these retakes that they have coming in. They're not giving away the 1v1s that they gave in their attacking half. It seems like they have learned their lesson that the coach has in these 2 past timeouts drilled into them, like double peek, don't give them 1v1s, and that is working for them. In fact, they're going to be able to bolster up their economy enough to be able to buy an operator. Deadly is going to have that additional weapon in his arsenal. But this map in particular, the hero has been Rio. He's clutched so many rounds. He's gotten an ace and a 4K to his name. And unless one tap god can go back to his usual, it's going to make things very rough. Deadly already going to be spotted in that position with the operator. Has to somehow stay alive, but nope, he's going to go down as one tap god will punish him for not being able to get out alive. Pixels, though, he's playing a dangerous game here. Can he get one for each of his troubles? He does, and he's going to be able to get away safely as well. However, Ember does have that resurrection, so that's not going to be much consolation for Reckoning. At least Pixel stays alive, and he's going to be very important as he is playing this Viper. He does have that Viper wall on B side ready for the retake if they decide to go in for this commit here, which it seems like is what they're doing. But the rotation, look at the rotation. It's barely come through. Bad Love is still on that A side.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Reckoning Esports, they wouldn't mind shaving off a little bit of the time in the retake, given that they have the Killjoy lockdown. That's what matters the most to them. They want to confirm if the take is happening or not from the side of True Rippers. And indeed it is. One tap god before the sage wall goes up. He goes down in the dirt, and the spike is now planted. But Reckoning, they are on equal terms against their counterparts. True Rippers as well, 4 members alive. Reckoning already. The Killjoy lockdown has to come and clutch, and it definitely will. Can True Rippers destroy it using the Hunter's Fury? Crosshair wide open. Unfortunately, misses his shots. The Killjoy lockdown's gonna go through. There is the counter Hunter's Fury from the side of Sai. Lockdown will be destroyed. Onto the spike. He tags a couple of the players. Rio is sticking it. True Rippers have no idea. The Sova is sticking it, and it is going to be a win for the side of Reckoning Esports. Not only that, they get rid of everyone. Pixels picks up a 4K. And now the scores are level.
Oh no, that was such an important round for True Rippers, and with that, the scores are going to be equalized. But the thing is, Reckoning have the economy and True Rippers don't at this juncture. They do still have the ultimate available from Master. That Viper's Pit might be what they need to possibly get match point here. But apart from that, it's looking impossible on this particular half. They're just not able to convert the plans that are coming through. And with that, they're going to be opting to force in. They are banking it all on this round, on them winning, on that Viper's Fit from Master. And it's a huge gamble here because you either want to play for overtime or you want to be guaranteed that you're going to close this out. And it seems like Deadly already, he might be able to get the first pick, but no, one tap god is too aware. He is too wary of this possible push that might come in, and off the back of that, Pixels is going to be ready to commit his ultimate. That Viper's Pit completely cutting off the A side. Now, one area that I feel like True Rippers haven't really looked at much or attacked is mid, and I wonder why that is, because of course Kitchen is covered by Bad Love's utility a lot of the time. But apart from that, most of the time, it's 2 players on B and 2 on A. This round, of course, it is the exception. They do have 2 towards mid, but in general, True Rippers, they're just not going in for those lurks. They're not just going in for that kind of multi-pronged attack, and that is really biting them hard, because even if they get that initial pick, they're making 2 mistakes. They are overcommitting, they are losing players and letting Reckoning equalize things. But more than that, they are just not able to have a significant amount of map control. They do hold the site, but that's not going to be much against ultimates and utility like the Viper and the KJs. So yeah, one tap god again going a little bit too aggressive. This can go really good or really bad. But apart from that, I'm not sure. This is a very, very risky play, and I'm desperately afraid right now for True Rippers.
The toxic screen goes down. Reckoning don't know completely. I don't have entire knowledge of where the True Rippers members are towards Snowman. Bad Love is going to be peeking to his right. There is that Sova inside in the gunfight. He takes one before he goes down. There's still defenders right here next to the members of True Rippers. Another isolated kill. Pixels is off. Bad Love falls. 2 more defenders remain alongside the same numbers for the attackers. It's a 1 versus 1. Hush behind the sage wall. He's sticking it. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He goes off the spike, gets the gun, gets the kill, gets the round. True Rippers, they've been on the back foot for the... Reckoning Esports, they've been on the back foot for the entirety of the map. True Rippers have been looking more and more confident as time went on at the start of the second half as well. But come the time of the match point, it goes in the hands of Reckoning.
Oh, 12 to 11. And I think at one point the score was looking like 11 to 7 or 11 to 6. But
Yep.
nevertheless, reckoning, they bring it back and now they're on match point. They're on the cusp of taking us to map number 3, Haven. And that's a map which they're super comfortable on. We've seen how Reckoning likes to play Haven and the win percentage they have on True Ripper as well. They're desperately trying to stop that from happening. They do, again, still have Masters, Viper's Pit, but that's not going to matter as Rio already going aggressive is going to be able to find that first pick. Texas as well might be able to get the second, and yep, that's one tap got down. Two players already down for the side of True Rippers, and two more are super low here. Sai is the only player with any kind of workable HP, but that's gonna matter. It's gonna be the spike going down as well. And yep, the Viper's Pit has been invested, but it's not gonna matter because the spike, it's not in their control. And it looks like Reckoning, they are gonna be taking this map home here off the back of that beautiful comeback from them. Spike, it's still in kitchen, and there are two players ready to take care of it to make sure that True Rippers, they lose this round right off the back of that. Crosshair trying to make some magic happen, trying to push forward here, but I don't know how much he can really find. They have so much trouble. They will at least get the sound cube, but he has to hit headshots completely, and his head is going to be the first in contention. Hush finding the first pick, just down to Master right now. A 1v4 as he tries to hold on to this dream of ending this in a 2-0, but it seems like Reckoning, they're not going to let him happen, as yet again, Hush, he's going to be the hero for Reckoning on this particular map. He might not have the most skills, but on this defensive half, his Sage walls have been the reason why so many of those diffusers have come through. And with that, we are headed to Haven, we're headed to map 3, and Reckoning, they keep their dreams alive.
Yep, Reckoning Esports. I mean, take a bow. After everything that they went through on the map of Ascent, on Icebox as well, after the events of the first half, even at the start of the second half, True Rippers, they had complete and utter control of the pace of the game, of the dynamics, everything was theirs. And True Rippers, again, I had said this, they just wanted to close it out. But that's where they had the most amount of problems on Ascent and now on Icebox as well. Reckoning Esports, when the night was the darkest, that's when they went for it completely. They sent it 110% and it worked in their favor. The early map, the early rounds, yeah, they weren't the best. The two flawless pistol wins for True Rippers definitely something that Reckoning have to look more into. Exactly why are their pistol rounds failing? That too in such a manner. But overall, as soon as Reckoning won their defense, boy, those retakes, they worked every single time. True Rippers kept on going for the executes, and every time they were shut down and the spike was diffused.
Yeah, that was a fantastic comeback from Reckoning to be able to have the mental to come back from 11 and 6, I believe, or was it 11 and 7? Either way, they get like almost 6 rounds in a row. They only lose one in the middle, and with that, they shut down True Rippers. You have to give credit to, in particular, Harsh and Rio. Rio coming up huge in a lot of rounds with the Hunter's Fury, with just the gunshots and the cover for his teammate, and of course, Harsh. I talked about him and his stage walls. The post plant from the side of True Rippers was utterly thwarted with just that 300 credit bit of utility, or I'm sorry, 400 credit bit of utility from the Sage. And even in this last particular round with which he managed to take them to match point, he managed to get the resurrection off the back of those 2 kills, get the man advantage back towards Reckoning, and eventually stick half the spike with the help of that particular utility. So definitely a fantastic map coming in from Reckoning. It is their pick. So I mean, for a second it looked like it was going to be a 2-0, but they managed to keep it together and make a comeback. And now they have the momentum. They have, it's going to be in their favor as we head into Haven, because True Rippers, this was a map which they could have easily closed out, and they failed to do so, and that's going to be haunting them. The question is, will they have the mental capacity to really come back on a map of Haven after losing this one? That remains to be seen, especially when you look at the statistics for Haven. Like, it's a map which, of course, everybody has been playing since Valorant came out, but Reckoning, they've perfected it to an art. They have been running the same agent comp for like the past, I don't know, 10-15 games, and it works out perfectly fine for them. So definitely something to watch out for. And True Rippers, I'm kind of scared for them right now.
That is true for the side of True Rippers. Mentally, what is the team's morale looking like? What is their condition? These were the kinds of questions we were asking from Reckoning Esports at the start of the second half. Once they lost the pistol, they were already down a map. True Rippers, they were looking so powerful. But no, Reckoning have turned it around. Definitely, there's going to be a huge wave of motivation going through the entire team, going through all the players, as the members of True Rippers. Yeah, they need to shake off what has just happened. And it definitely felt like towards the final couple of rounds. Like the final round is the perfect example of that. This loss has affected True Rippers to a different, like, to a level, to a certain level. Mentally, they're not in it completely. The last round, they were going on these isolated, like, tirades. They were peeking any angles. One Tap God was all alone as he was going through the B bomb side. It wasn't controlled. It was chaotic. It wasn't the best of Valorant that True Rippers have played here today. Like, it was no one of their better rounds, definitely not. So keeping that in mind, this loss has affected True Rippers. And that's the only thing. Can they ready themselves mentally for Haven? That's the bigger fight that's going to take place, because both of these two teams, they must be ready for it. And I'm going to say my favorite catchphrase that I always say. This best of three has effectively now turned into a glorified best of one. Haven is all that matters. Whatever has happened is in the past. It's all about what takes place on the next one map that we have. Nothing that has occurred previously is of any importance for the time being. In the larger scheme of things, yes, obviously it's of importance. But now, True Rippers and Reckoning, they have to think of this like there's only a single map remaining, and they have to play it like it will be their last.
Looking at the scoreboard, which has just come in, it is going to be One Tap God, who had so much momentum, especially at the end of the first and in the beginning of the second half, who is the MVP for the side of True Rippers. But overall, the match MVP is going to be Rio. He stepped up huge in that second half with that 3K, with that 4K and that ace. That's exactly what gave Reckoning the rounds, as well as, I think, the mental capacity to really jump back into this game and steal it away from the side of True Rippers. Now, if you look at the side of True Rippers in particular, everybody on the team has performed pretty much the same, I would say, apart from One Tap God. They've all been around, they've all had like the same amount of impact. And that's exactly the issue, right? When you have a player like Crosshair, you saw how much damage he did both mentally as well as to the economy and the players of the side of Reckoning on the map of Ascent. On Icebox,
Hmm.
though, he just wasn't able to have the same impact as he did there. And the same goes for the side of Reckoning, right? Like Rio stepped up, but the rest of his team, they need to do the same if they want to try and take Haven home. And yeah, I think, like I said in the previous matchup, right, it's a team game. And while you can have isolated heroes who can step up and take things away, overall, the more consistent team is going to win. That's what True Rippers did on Ascent. And that's what they will have to somehow do when we do head into Haven right after this.
Yeah. Going on to the map of Haven, it is going to be very interesting. Both of the teams, all 10 of the players, tremendous amount of experience they have. And like you said, Zach, everyone knows Haven like the back of their hand. And the tactics, the theories, the meta. Yes, it has been changing, but not greatly. It's not every single time people or teams will pull out wildly different compositions like we're seeing on something like Bind, very recently in South Asia. Teams are
Hmm.
going for different plays. There was one time where from Lethal Esports, the team that we have coming up next, in our 8 p.m. match, they had gone for a triple initiator play against Revenant Esports once. Or Revenant Esports more recently, they have gone back to the old meta, the one that I really like, where the double controller Astra Viper Sage, very defensive, very utility and strategically based, and they're making it work. But I gotta say, yeah, it's again, that's all about Bind. For the time being, definitely Haven is the map that we'll be seeing next. It is going to be the decider map. Everything will be decided there, as the name suggests. For the time being, we'll be going into a short break. Don't go anywhere. You can go in the description, get yourself some gear from our lovely sponsors. You can get yourself some AMD Ryzen powered laptops. Again, perfect for any person out there who does a lot of traveling. Maybe you're a college student, you want to do a lot of work on the go. Maybe you're a corporate person as well. Best laptop suitable, really powerful for gaming, for work. Again, tremendous performance. Also, if you want tremendous performance from your operating system, Windows 11 has you covered. You can update it, and it is going to be really, really optimized for all of your work and for your games. New UI as well. Excellent. But don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with map 3.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics. legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Welcome back, everyone, to AMD Ryzen and Windows 11 present the Esports Club Challenger Series for Valorant, powered by Crucial with our broadcast partner Loco. I'm CC, John alongside Zach, and we are bringing to you Qualifier 1 quarterfinals. Now, up after, hundreds and hundreds of teams registered, over 1,000 players registering for the qualifiers, we are now down to just single-digit teams. And out of them, today we are seeing who will be the final couple of teams going into the finals. And out of them, the best of three is in front of us. It is going to be True Rippers up against Reckoning Esports. And so far, True Rippers, they have been doing an excellent job in the first map, but then they lost their footing on Icebox, and Reckoning, they made an exceptional comeback. So now heading into Haven, it's going to be it's going to be a firefight.
That's an understatement because especially on ice like Ascent Wars, True Rippers playground, it seemed like they performed well in both of these halves and they really put up a show. But Icebox, it could have gone either way, and Reckoning, they really managed to mount a comeback. So the momentum is firmly in their favor. And the decider map, which is going to be Haven, it's a map which the side of Reckoning is super comfortable on. They have like a really good win rate in the South Asian region at least, and that's what they're looking to trade on, I believe, as they go in for their usual team comp. Not many changes coming through. They do sometimes like to run a breach in a Sky comp or a breach in a Sova comp instead, but they're not messing around. They're going to be putting Bad Love on that KO, and of course Rio on his usual Sova, and Harsh as well on the Cypher. This is an interesting pick because again, you don't see Cypher getting much love these days, but I suppose none of the Reckoning players are really feeling their chamber today. So of course Harsh on that Cypher, he does provide a lot of value, a lot of information, and is phenomenal in the retake if his camera gets out alive. So that's a player to really watch out for if he can perform. But for the side of True Rippers, it's a very meta comp. Especially, I like that they're putting one tap core on the Neon because you see Neon coming into action more and more on bigger maps like Fracture as well as now Haven as well. You can really help rotate quickly, and more than that, the utility kit that she has, especially that fast lane as well as those stuns, they're gonna give you access to site for free if the opponents aren't careful about it. So definitely an agent to watch out for. And one tap god, he's been clicking heads and tapping them throughout these two maps, especially on Icebox. So if he can bring the same kind of fire, if he can bring the same kind of energy into Haven, which is where we're heading right now, that might be what True Rippers need to take it. Because right now the odds, I would say, they're against them.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this briefly before we headed into the break that True Rippers, for the time being, they are not in the best of mental states after the loss on Icebox. They're not 100%. They had the map in their hands, but unfortunately, Reckoning came in, snatched it out, and took it for themselves. So, True Rippers, in the little time that they've had, hopefully they've been able to converse with each other, also the team, their coach Duffy as well, talking to them, telling them exactly what has gone wrong, how they can improve on that, and they can improve from this point forward. Because, yeah, both of these teams now, honestly, they are looking equal in the matchup. True Rippers, overall, I would say they're looking just a little better than Reckoning, but that's only because of what had happened on Ascent. If we take away from that, it's all even Stevens, and as it always is. I mean, True Rippers up against Reckoning Esports, these you had said this, they're old foes. They know each other through and through with all the roster changes, even with all the roster changes that have happened. This time, Reckoning on the attack, already into the B bomb side, going for a rotation towards A. True Rippers, they are readied up for a B retake, but the thing is, Pixels keeps them at bay with a classic in his hand. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates plant the spike. Pixels is still looking for more. That's his third. How much longer can this Omen survive? He dashes back. He uses the sidestep. And True Rippers, they are caught completely off guard.
At least I think that Pixels is still alive, so that's going to be huge because that's still smokes available. And off the back of that, it seems like Reckoning they're in a really good position. If Pixels can get this, can take down Baby Sai, it might be another plus in his pocket. But apart from that, they do. It does seem like True Rippers they're ready for this possible retake to come through. They know the position of Bad Love at least, but the clock is ticking right now, and they have so much work to do in so little time. Master tries to go for the defuse, but won't be able to stick it because it is going to be the peak coming through, and despite them at least bringing things back down and everybody dying in the map, the round is still gonna go in favor of Reckoning, and they get the spike plant as well, so that's gonna be the economy boosted, and it's all because of Pixels heroics down mid. I said this right in the beginning of the series. He is one of the most consistent players that Reckoning have that you really need to watch out for, and he's finally stepping up huge on this particular map. If Ember had been able to get the better of him, it would have been easier for the side of True Rippers to possibly try and make something happen, but since that was not the case, Reckoning will be getting their round. And it seems like this time they're going to be playing a little bit more slower. It seems like they do want to go in for the A push, but apart from that, they don't have much in mind.
Yeah, they want to just try and rush out the attackers, and I mean, at this point for True Rippers, there is really no other choice. It's going to be a full-on eco from their side. Reckoning, move into C, plant the spike, free access to the bomb site. Crosshair though. All right, that's a great swing and a half. A very good counter strafing as well to stop and shoot down the opponent and get that headshot. Oh well, get the kill primarily. But yeah, True Rippers not out of it completely, but they are at a disadvantage. They're getting bottlenecked through garage. They have to brute force their way in. They need to find an opening. Reckoning are not going to allow that. This is their anti-eco. They very well deserve to win it. Now, Ember, that's another player gone. And now it's Chamber all by himself. He's got 2 bullets in, well, the Chamber. But Crosshair, can he do something with it? No, he peeks wide. It's going to be a crossfire being held from the side of Reckoning Esports. And yeah, easy does it. Even in the anti-eco, they lost 2 lives. Doesn't matter. They got the spike down. They got that extra economic boost. It is their bonus. They may be looking for that extra bit of economic growth, economic spurt. And that's all that matters to their side. The rounds are going their way, but this is the time that True Rippers can finally step in.
That is very, very good right now for the side of Reckoning because they have gotten the spike plant in both of these rounds. And, that's going to be some extra money. They aren't really playing the bonus because they're willing to equip Deadly on this Vandal here. They are yet again going for a C garage split. They will spot out one player on the C side, and off the back of that, Ember will be forced to fall off that particular angle. The question is this just bait? No, it's not. They are going to go for a garage push, but Crosshair, he has Harsh in his crosshairs and is going to get that first pick of the round. Finally, things going in the direction of True Rippers instead. Bad Love tries to go in for a mid push, but will be caught by Master. Things falling apart for Reckoning. Just 3 players left. This is their bonus, so things aren't looking too bad for them. They want to go for the A side, but look at One Tap God. He is lying in wait for them, and unless they clear out this angle, it's going to be so much damage. And because all of them are coming through long, and none of them have the firepower to fight this except for Deadly. Never mind. They will be able to double swing and take down that pick. But the damage, look at Rio's health. He's just 1 bullet away from his demise. At least that upgraded weapon will be able to get picked up, and the spike is planted in a very open manner. So Reckoning, even if they can't convert this round, it's looking unlikely. They will be able to do quite a bit of economic damage to the side of True Rippers here, as well as farm up some of those ultimates. The reload noise, so that's going to be heard. So Crosshair is aware of the possible crossfire being held here, and a lot of utility is being committed as they try to make this retake work. Deadly has to do a lot of work to take this round. Can get one. It's going to come down to just Deadly though. Has to clutch it out. As aware that the flank might be coming in, and it's going to come down to just Ember here. But the clock is ticking, the timer is on, and it seems like True Rippers, they have lost this round because Deadly, he's not taking the bait here. The timer is run out. Deadly with a 3k, and the bonus for Reckoning, that's gonna be a 3-0 right now. Wow.
That One Tap. We need to see the instant replay of that, and let's have a summary of the round as well. I mean, True Rippers, they were looking oh so good. The flank was set up also from, the Omen, but then the juke play from the corner, Sova beating them out, and look at that final headshot from Deadly Dead. Just pristine. Secures the round for Reckoning. And True Rippers now are there in deep waters. How do they escape from this tide that's about to swallow them whole? Reckoning Esports, they've got all the advantage in the world. They've got 2 ultimates. They've got better weaponry. The rifles are with their side. The armor is with the attackers. How do the team of True Rippers proceed further from this point forward? Thing is, you can't really get aggressive. They tried that in their anti-eco round of Reckoning Esports. They got punished for it. If they try to play for retake, this isn't Icebox, where Reckoning were getting so many of those retake plays going in their favor. True Rippers were not able to be successful in that retake in the previous round in their own full buy. They need a wildcard factor. They need kills, which Reckoning are not expecting. And Ember pushing up may have given them that, but no, even he gets punished for it. Too many attackers for him to deal with. Wherever True Rippers are peaking, it's the same result. Sheer death.
There's 2 players left right now for them, and both of them are going to be very, very far away from the seaside. So that's going to be a very free spike plant which the side of the Reckoning players get. Of course, the damage has been done to some of these players' HP, but it's not going to matter because in this 2v5, Reckoning have all the cards in their hands. They have those ultimates like you mentioned, but more than that, they have control of both Garage as well as the entire seaside. So it's going to be an uphill battle right now for these players from the side of True Rippers. Unless Reckoning do something that's exceptionally wrong, it's going to still be the round in their favor, and that seems to be the case. Master's position is known as well. Badlip doesn't care that he only has 5 HP, but oh, Master hits a dirty collab that. Can he get a third is the question. He knows where Rio is. Does he know about Harsh? No, he doesn't. And that is going to be the round for Reckoning yet again, 0-4. And almost flawless. They do lose 2 players to that collat headshot, but I think that's a great round. And yep, that's a good timeout. That's a necessary timeout because after losing 4 in a row, True Rippers, they need to figure out what they're doing wrong. They need to pull it back. This aggression so far, it's not paying out really well for them. And when it does come to these retake situations, right, they're at a huge disadvantage and they're just not able to come back from that at all. So yeah, they need to figure out what's that in this full buy, because if they don't make this work, it looks like Reckoning, they're going to have an easy road to taking this.
I mean, Reckoning, they are looking very comfortable here. And this may be the first time in this best of 3 where after the events of the first half, we see a score more than like the 7-5s. We saw that on Icebox, we saw that on Ascend, but with the way Reckoning are doing this, they want an 8-4, a 9-3 at the very least. No, oh my God. Zach, I have to ask this. Very, very important question. It decides if you are a very smart caster or if you are not. Do you believe in the 9-3 curse?
I believe in its psychological effect. I don't think there's anything, regarding that particular score.
Decent. That's still decent.
I think it's a psychological effect, so more than anything else. So yeah, it might be a factor, it might not, but I've seen a lot of matches where the 9-3 has happened and it hasn't been a conversion a lot of the time. So it's a 50-50. It could go either way. So I'm not really gonna bank anything on it heading into this particular round. Which True Rippers, like I mentioned, they're desperate to convert, and the defense, I don't know how they're reading this because there are 2 players here who are trying to hold down the A side, but that ult from the KO as well as the Omen, it's gonna be buying so much time here as Pixels. He single-handedly has Heaven control. One tap God though. He doesn't want to let go of the site, and he's trying to desperately stay alive here. Rio finding yet another pick onto Master, and Deadly, he'll be able to get that player back up. Just 2 again for True Rippers as they try to get the retake, and Pixels, he still has Heaven control. How is this possible?
Reckoning Esports, they've got total control, and True Rippers, yeah, they are going to back off. They will be saving their rifles. So again, whatever was discussed by Daffy in the tactical timeout doesn't work. Reckoning overwhelm their opposition with so much utility that True Rippers are not able to escape out of it. The Hunter's Fury went through, we saw the Null Command, we were seeing the smokes going to the bomb side as well, and everything worked in unison with each other, allowing for an easy take and a near flawless round with the exception of the 1 kill that we saw just here. But still, it's a round win for Reckoning. That's what matters. They are not going to be thinking too much about the credit economy, not even too much about the ultimates. As long as they're able to rack up the rounds, that's what matters. Rio, though, walks into the crosshairs. And yeah, this is Reckoning getting a little too over-eager to try and dispose the guns on the side of True Rippers, but True Rippers are not going to allow them that luxury in any step of the way. They will keep the 1 Vandal, the Phantom. Otherwise, for their teams, it's going to be not a bare bones buy, but still a buy that puts them at risk of economic devastation. They have the ultimates to support them. That's what matters. But also, if they're able to make use out of the ults or not. We are seeing Crosshair, Tour de Force, he can use it. One tap god, he's got the Bulldog. Very soon he'll have the Neon ult, but still 0 kills for him after 5 rounds. You need one tap god to come back into this. He is having not the best of days on Haven, but compared to his performance on Icebox, this is going to be a major shift for True Rippers if it keeps on happening like this.
That is the case, and it looks like yet again Reckoning they have the better. At least they haven't gotten the first picks yet, but they're waiting for True Rippers to make the mistake of giving them that first pick yet again. It seems like True Rippers, they're not going to be taking the bait though, and yet again they're going for this garage push. Harsh, she's going to be ready with the camera, but is not going to spot anything really. And oh, the wall bang from Ember is absolutely perfect as he manages to find Harsh there. Finally, the first pick and the advantage going in the favor of Reckoning, as they're not in a position to really trade this out. They do have spike control though, and it seems like True Rippers are aware of the presence of these players towards mid and garage, and that's exactly why Sai is going to be willing to invest that drone to try and push players off this position. Deadly will be forced to fall back here in Reckoning. It seems like they're going to be reconsidering their battle plan as they go towards the seaside, but look at who is holding it down. Crossout with that tour de force catches Rio on that jump peak. It's not going to be enough if you jump peak a tour de force when you have someone like Crossout on it, and that they're going to be paying for that. The plan yet again is going to be shifting towards the B side, but Sai is here. Sai is watching the cross, and Sai is ready for it. However, the entry has been gotten at least. The spike might be able to go down, but with 15 seconds left on the clock, it has to be fast. Bad Love in a position where he's watched by 2 players and definitely gets a little bit too aggressive. Tries to go forward, gets 1. Can he get 2? Yes, he does, but that's all he's gonna find because True Rippers finally get a round in this half, and they managed to do so off the back of that tour de force finding so much value.
Yeah. Man, the Tour de Force worked wonders right there. And Reckoning, now they have suffered their first loss. So, apart from that, still, I mean, it's a 1-5 score of favoring the side of RGE. It's not the end of the world, but again, the word, it's a word everyone should have in the back of their minds right now. I've used it multiple times. Momentum. The momentum for Reckoning has been halted completely by True Rippers. Can a Reckoning start it again? You know, can they get back to winning ways? There is the likelihood of that happening. After all, the economy is not in a terrible state, not by any stretch of the imagination. They've got good guns, they've got the armor, the utility is present. Sure, they may not have as many ultimates as True Rippers, but once you eliminate a couple of those defenders, especially the ones with said ults, it's going to get a whole lot easier. If you can pick off any of the initiators as the people, as like an opening casualty on the side of True Rippers, things are going to get so much more easier to the side of RGE. The Breach and the Rolling Thunder gone, Sova Hunter's Fury off the board. It's going to be just it's going to be the best case scenario. But in order for that to happen, Reckoning Esports still have to contest for those kills. They can't play on the back foot, not anymore. 50 seconds remain in the action phase. In terms of the map control, Reckoning haven't pushed into Garage. Neither are they towards A long. They're looking for yet another B take. The Omen is playing from the backlines. He's ready. One smoke towards A ling. There is that 0 point. Everyone moves in forward. The spike goes through, but can Reckoning pull off a successful post launch?
30 seconds left.
It is going to be a 5v5, and that breach shelter is going to be committed. That the Rolling Thunder coming up huge as they're able to find 2 picks off the back of that. But Deadly is active in this game. He is the young blood that Reckoning have picked up, and he's been making things work so well for them. But he's not going to be enough because he's the only player who's able to do anything. Just pixels left right now in a 1v3. No time on the clock, no spike in his hands. Perhaps if he had possession of the spike, at least he might be able to make this round work in his favor. But nevertheless, it's going to be the second for True Rippers, and it looks like they're slowly but surely making their way back up. Reckoning's initial momentum falling apart as True Rippers finally stop giving them the first pick and play a bit more slow and play off the back of some trades here.
Yeah, True Rippers, they're following the same tactics of, you know, Reckoning Esports, just with a little bit of their own, like, twist to it. Reckoning Esports on Icebox, they gave up the bomb side entirely. They were like, we do not care. Plant the spike, play in whatever angle, like hold whatever angle you want, have whatever positioning of the players. Doesn't matter to us. We are going to win the retake. True Rippers, they are contesting the execute. They're not contesting it before. They don't want to shut the execute down like you know, premeditatively. No, they want to do it in the act of the execution. Again, let's have an example of that. Reckoning, they're ready for it. They've got everything set up. The Jet was there, Blade Storm, Dive Agent, but True Rippers do not allow them that luxury. And Reckoning, I mean, they back out of this. This wasn't even a True Rippers play. They were just holding the angles, and Reckoning were like, nope, nope, nope. Let's not do that. Let's save our guns. Let's live to see another day. Let's live to see a couple more seconds of this round, and let's figure out if there is any other opportunity for us to strike again. So, True Rippers, they're still holding the same angles. Whatever utility dump happened from Reckoning has taken place. The attackers have to do a lot more.
That is the case. There is a Blade Storm from Deadly, and we've seen the kind of impact he can have on these particular rounds. In fact, we saw One Tap God get a 4K with the same ultimate the last time around, but Deadly, he's not going to be able to find much this time, as it's going to be Ember instead who gets the better of him in that confrontation. Crosshair as well works his way through the smoke to back them up, and Ember again, he's the criminal for the side of True Rippers here. First, the wall bang through Garage, and now the spray through the smoke. And with that, yet again, Reckoning's attack falls apart with only 20 seconds left on the clock. I don't know how much they can do here. They have to go towards his B side. It's the only option available. And well, Pixels, at the very least, he might be able to get the plant down. But retake-wise, it seems like the advantage does lie in the hands of True Rippers. Reckoning, they don't really have any important ults to work with. And yet again, they're on the hunt here to try and get the advantage. Pixels in the smoke, playing a dangerous game, and it seems like Sai is aware because that shock dart is going to at least hit him for a little bit of damage if he's not careful. Still, a 3v5, the smoke goes down, but Pixels is good for one. Can he get more is the question. Nope, it's gonna come down to just Rio, the IGL, the last hope of this round for Reckoning, and Crosshair, he's gonna immediately shut him down. And with that, it was a 5-0 for Reckoning, and it's gonna come back to a 5-3. True Rippers finally finding their footing on this particular map here.
Momentum. It's at this point, I don't even think I need to say any other words of the English language during this cast. All I can say is just momentum. Because honestly, that is really what we're seeing. True Rippers, they were down in the ditches. 0-5. Now, they've managed to salvage it temporarily. The half can still go the way of Reckoning Esports. There are 4 rounds remaining. They can end this with a 9-3. And while I don't think rationally it is going to be a 9-3 end, Reckoning still have a little bit in their attacking side before the side swap takes place. They're not going to let True Rippers get another 7-5 half, just like what has been occurring for the past 2 maps. This time, Reckoning want to play for the advantage. They don't want to be the team chasing down the score set by True Rippers. They want to be leading with example in the final map that we have here in this best of 3. True Rippers are ready for it. Whatever Reckoning throw their way, it seems like True Rippers have found the antidote to all of the executions. It's just to wait and wait and wait for the attackers, wait for them to make the move, then strike when they're the most vulnerable. It may fall and it may fall apart, it may blow up in the faces of True Rippers, but so far it hasn't happened. This can be the chance. Reckoning Esports, they have taken that tactical timeout. So both of the teams, exhausting their timeouts for the first half. Right now, after 4 rounds, we'll have another minute break. So there is plenty of communication taking place from the coaches and between the players without any interruptions of the game. The thing is, how much of all of those conversations are these players able to put into practicality into their round, and how much of it is actually paying off?
Remains to be seen, as yet again they try to go in for that garage push. Crosshair playing up aggressively, but this time it's going to be Pixels, the other Omen from Reckoning, who does connect the wall bang, and he's going to be made to pay for not rendezvousing out of that. A 4v5 right now as True Rippers yet again they lose that initial pick. Master, though, the wall bangs from this garage area for both of these teams are just too dangerous right now, as yet again things are going to be equalized. But while fighting for that mid control, it seems like the A side is more vulnerable, and well, One Tap God, he's aware of that. That's why he's going to be investing that fast lane to try and buy more time for his teammate to rotate over. He is going to be the only point of entry though who has to hold on for dear life. He will be able to hold on to this under heaven position, gets one, and that's a spike drop. Tries to reposition for the second, gets a second. Can he get a third? No, it's not gonna matter though, as Master is down for the cleanup and the backup, and True Rippers get the round off the back of that. Beautiful play from these 2 players. The Neon buying so much time with his utility, and of course that flash and that stun from Master sets them up perfectly for that push into the remaining players of the side of Reckoning. And yet again, it seems like it's falling apart. It's a good time for it's a good time for a timeout, either this round or the next round, because Reckoning, they need to figure out what exactly they're doing wrong and bring back the same kind of magic which they had on Icebox to try and prevent True Rippers from getting too much of an advantageous position.
Again, yeah, I have to agree with you, Zach. True Rippers, they have the opportunity, and it's a golden opportunity to get into that advantageous position to move on forward and try and even take the lead of this half. I mean, if they're able to do that, win 7 rounds consecutively, the half will be in their favor. Reckoning Esports now, another different tactic. They wanted to just rush into the bomb side without investing too much of their manpower. They just want to get the spike down, play from the backlines, play with a very, very long angle, and they do that. But can they continue? The null command will be helping them a lot in suppressing all of this defender utility, and the defenders will have to just peek these angles, dry peek these angles. But still, it's looking to work in favor of True Rippers as one by one they're getting rid of the members of the attackers on the side of Reckoning Esports. They are isolating these gunfights. They are retaliating. Only one person now remains, and I don't think Rio will be able to win this.
They do manage to get it out. Rio will at least be able to pick up that rifle. Will he be able to hold on to it is another question, as one tap god decides to go in for a cheeky knife. Lucky for Rio, the timer does run out, so at least that is in their favor. But at this point, it was 5-0 CCV, and now it's 5-5. And both of these teams, they are fighting hard for this particular map. In fact, at this point, Crosshair is going to be able to afford an operator as well. So that's yet another piece of weaponry and utility that is going to try and stall the attack coming in from Reckoning. And the initial success which they were finding, the patience and the trades, they don't have that anymore heading into this particular few rounds. It's only 2 more rounds left on the half, and they want to try and get a 6-5, a 6-6 or even a 7-5 half heading into this, because on this attack it's going to make things so much more harder. Crossout with the operator, still holding strong, gets one, tries to get the no scope, but it's not going to matter because Reckoning, they are still going to walk away with the advantage in the side if Master lets them, but he doesn't have, he has something to say about it. He doesn't want to let it go. It does seem like Pixels, he's going to be TPing away to the A side. And does Reckoning have the spike? They do, and they're going to be able to get that plant in very quick. If one tap god isn't that for it. That's what I meant about the Neon. The quick rotations, the ability to be able to catch these players off guard. And with a minute left on the clock and the spike dropped on the A side, well, Reckoning, they have a lot of work to do.
Oh, they are out of position, but they still have the element of surprise. Master, though, is looking out from A-Link, watching that very angle that Rio peaks, and Master, he gets the information, readies up the fault line, but Harsh strikes from the defender spawn, and now plenty of information for Reckoning to go by with. They know where Sai is, they know Sai is all alone towards heaven, they can hunt him down, and that's exactly the journey Rio has embarked on. How much longer can Sai hold on? He tries to drop down, going to be unsuccessful. 23 seconds, one tap god into the bomb side, isolating these gunfights. Both the attackers here, are they going to drop? One does. One tap god is still holding the angle. 13 seconds on the clock. The Neon all by herself. One tap god, he's there in the corner, and he will be eliminated. A great fight from him, but now one tap god will not be able to keep the hoops alive for his team, and it is going to be Reckoning Esports finally winning a round after losing 5 consecutively.
It does seem like the advantage is, at least geared towards Reckoning, but I don't know how they pulled that round back. It looked impossible, but I think that the fact that they were able to capitalize on the spike being dropped and catch those rotations off guard is what got them that particular round. At least True Rippers, they are going to have the economy heading into this, and they also have the tour de force. And yet again, we've seen the kind of impact which this particular player, Crosshair, can have. I just saw what Sai dropped in heaven. The man has an Odin apart from his Vandal, so if Reckoning, they want to get a plant on that A side, they're going to have to be pretty careful about it. Nevertheless, Sai is going to be pushing out on this adventure, and he's going to be rewarded for it with those 2 picks, both Rio and Deadly, not ready for this aggression coming through. And it seems like he might be able to get a 3rd. Nope, Ember will go down, and with that, Sai is going to fall back. He doesn't want to risk anything. The advantage is in the hands of True Rippers right now, and he doesn't want to lose out on it. Crosshair as well for the backup. 2 kills coming through. This is massive from the side of True Rippers as they desperately try to hold onto this defense here. 2 players for Reckoning now. Pixels and Bad Love, they do at least have control of the spike, so that is one thing going for them. But apart from that, they don't have any map control. They don't know where the players from True Rippers could be, because they did hear the chamber rendezvous away. With that knife though, they will know at least where Crosshair is, and it seems like they're going to be going in for some garage aggression, but the off angle is perfect from Crosshair. He's going to be able to get one, and it's just down to Pixels to clutch out this 1v2. He might know the the position of these players, but one tap god, he's ready for it. The smoke, he pulls out the smoke at the wrong time, and it's a 6-6 half for the side of both these teams, and that's fantastic because remember, it was a 5-0 for Reckoning in the beginning, but True Rippers, they bring it back, and they bring it back in style here.
Absolutely. True Rippers are like, okay, this time the half isn't going to be favoring us, unlike the past two maps, but it's now going to be favoring your side as well. It is going to be equal, and they have equalized it in tremendous fashion nonetheless. Boy, oh boy. That's just the first half that we have seen. It's been one-sided, favoring Reckoning. Then True Rippers, they strike back, and now it's a back and forth. But the final half that we'll be seeing in this entire best of three, we started about 2 hours and 40 minutes ago or something along the lines of that, with both of these teams on ascend. True Rippers took the win there. Reckoning 13-11 on Icebox, and now only just mere 12 rounds away, a maximum of 12 rounds unless we go into overtime before seeing exactly what happens. And again, I have to say, this is all happening in the first qualifiers quarterfinals. This isn't even the finals of the qualifiers to see which team will be going into the group stage. This isn't even the group stages where the 8 best teams in South Asia will be battling each other. This isn't even the LAN that we have in August taking place. The Esports Club Arena, again, tickets in the description. They're free, being held in Bangalore. Going to be amazing. Be there. But this is just the first qualifier, and already this is the level of gameplay we are seeing from these teams. Definitely, whoever wins here, be it True Rippers, be it Reckoning Esports, they will 100% deserve the spot to be in the finals against the likes of, I believe it's Revenant, yeah.
Yeah, it is Revenant, and that's gonna be a fun match to watch, especially if Reckoning make it through, because it's gonna be a revenge matchup. I think that head-to-head, all three of these teams, they have more or less an equal number of wins against each other, so it could go either way. And no matter who wins right now, it could like definitely be a fun match to watch in the semifinals. But I think heading into this attacking half, one thing to watch out for is going to be One Tap God here. He is, he has been the spearhead of the attack on Icebox, and I think he'll be looking to make a repeat as well. And I think the Neon skit is much better in these short angle fights, in trying to get into sides compared to the Jet. You saw the trouble that Deadly had in a lot of those rounds. Once he was on site, it was perfectly fine, but he had so much trouble making his way in. And I think One Tap God, he might have a better chance of it as he goes forward, dashes, tries to get that first pick. However, Reckoning, they're aware of this aggression. They're going to be cautious about it and not really peek into any of these angles. Still going to be the lobby control taken by True Rippers at the very least. But Crosshair, he has to connect this shot. Rio will badly get away with his life, but with that, the hit is on. The A site is where True Rippers want to go, and they are making it work here as One Tap God goes huge. 2 to his name, 26 HP, and he's still fighting. As with just 2 players left right now, Reckoning are faced with the momentous task of trying to retake this site.
Yeah, retake the side from the same angle as well. They peak, but they fall. It is going to be a True Rippers win. And again, the pistol, a near flawless win as well. If there's one thing Reckoning definitely have to take to the drawing board after the events of this best of 3, it's their pistol round. The fact that, okay, a couple of times, okay, in the previous instance, it was a win, yes. But whenever they do lose, it's in such a manner where they're losing almost all of their gunfights. Now, is this something that's very gunfight dependent, that the players on the side of Reckoning Esports, they're not able to get these kills with pistols? I doubt it. But if that's the case, then, tell the players to go into a couple of those aim training softwares, go into deathmatch, get a sheriff, get a ghost, practice with that. If there's something else, if there's something more strategical, you have to focus on it. You have to improve. But Reckoning, yeah, they have to take it to the drawing board. Their pistols are not looking good today. Let's hope it's a one-off thing and it's not a repeated pattern. Otherwise, so many teams are going to exploit that fact. And True Rippers are no different right now. On Icebox as well, flawless pistol wins. Right now, after the previous round win on the anti-eco, already firing off on all cylinders, looking for an A-side take. The Sova drone clears the hell angle. It spots that there's nobody in the bomb side. It's easy pickings for the attackers. They can move on forward, plant the spike. They just have to deal with the remaining defenders not falling through.
They do that in style, and yet again, it's going to be a 2v5 retake attempt for the side of Reckoning. The Cypher and the Sova, nothing really to work with in the kit apart from these classics. The Recon Bolt is available, but look at Crosshair. He is ready for it. He's ready to break it. Arch is able to find one, but one tap god. He's hungry. He's on the hunt, and more than that, he doesn't have any particular weapon to really lose here. So, of course, he's going to be happy to be able to peek into that angle, knows the position of the second player as well, and he will be able to get the second. Yes, he will. And I think off the back of that, he is just 2 away from that overdrive. And of course, his personal economy is going to be looking great as well, because both of these rounds he's gotten multi-frags, and he might even be able to buy in, get that Vandal online to try and be the tip of the charge for the side of True Rippers as they try and convert this bonus round here. And you really got to admire the speed with which these players from True Rippers are taking these sides. They don't care. They know that Reckoning players, they know that they play on pace, and the fact that they're again and again able to hit this A side and capitalize on it. It's coming up huge right now. Yet again, look at this. It seems like Reckoning, they want to go in for a bit of mid control, but it's going to be just Deadly and Rio right now trying to hold down the A side. The knife not going to spot anybody either. And off the back of that, it seems like they are going to be going in for this A hit this time around as well.
That is true. So now Rio, no, for him. Again, has to hold down the fort on this A-bomb side take. He's got the support of Deadly 10 and True Rippers. They are walking into a death trap. Ember manages to infiltrate through. The thing is, he's all alone, and there are just so many defenders he has to deal with. The spike is now gone in no man's land. Sai, pretty much no one right now. All alone against plenty of defenders who are looking for their revenge. Reckoning Esports want to jump back into this game. And True Rippers now, after losing their bonus, they're letting, Reckoning have that opportunity. But then again, for True Rippers, there wasn't any other choice they had. They had those rifles, they had the Spectres, it was a weaker buy. They went for it nonetheless, and Sai will be saving the full armor that he has alongside the Vandal. Oh wait, is he going for it?
30 seconds
He's
left.
trying to find someone. So it's a very risky play. There is a chance he does that. He can just sit in the smoke and wait, but no, he decides to push through, gets one kill, that's another. Oh, he almost had it, but it is going to be a Reckoning win.
It is a Reckoning win, but the cost, Sai made it so expensive for them, because that's going to be 3 players who have dropped their guns and are going to be forced to play with lesser rifles or half armor. In fact, Deadly, at least he's lucky. If he gets one orb, he might be able to get that Blade Storm online towards his A side. And it seems like yet again, the players from the side of True Rippers are aware of this. They don't want to really let him get that orb. On the opposite side, though, it is going to be Crosshair forced to play with only the Headhunter, because he did invest significantly in the previous round. Either way, though, both of these teams do have the buy, and this is a very crucial round for them. The Neon going to be suppressed right off the bat. It's going to force one tap god to slow down here, and Deadly, well, he'll be able to successfully get the Blade Storm online as well. So things not looking too bad right now for the side of Reckoning, because for once they managed to hold on to this A side without losing anything apart from some utility here. One tap god still maintaining control of this A lobby, as the rest of them, along with the Spike, are on their way towards the C side. But the Reckoning players, they haven't rotated. There are still 3 players which True Rippers have to deal with. Ember finding the first, but Harsh, he's still ready here. It's going to be suppressed, but through the Cyber Cage, Crosshair is going to spot the barrel of the gun and take down Harsh. Bad Love is the last hope right now on the side. Does find one, but that's going to be all that he gets. Just 2 players left right now for Reckoning. Again, a 2v4 retake, and this time around, things are looking so much more rough for them. Rio in a 1v3. Can he find more? Nope. Crosshair is going to walk away with a 4k, and well, True Rippers, they're going to take the lead here. 9-7.
Again, True Rippers, they were dealt a setback in the previous round, but they deal twice the damage to the likes of Reckoning this time forward, and they force Reckoning to go into this semi-eco buy, upgraded pistols. Again, a weak buy overall, and problems are arising for the side of RGE. Now, True Rippers are so close to getting into double digits, but there is one thing we've seen from True Rippers. Finishing a map is their weakest point overall. Their strategy is good, but I don't know what happened on Icebox. They had so many instances, they just couldn't secure that map. If that is the case again, no matter how many rounds they have, it's going to be difficult once more. Reckoning Esports, I think they're aware of this as well. True Rippers, they've got to make sure those double digits reach very soon, and they convert it into a 13 as soon as possible, or at the very least 12. Overtime, we haven't seen it. Zach, you'd said it in the pre-match presentation all the way back before Ascend that overtime is a possibility, definitely is between both of these teams, and there is the chance. We see it right here on Haven, but if there's any team who can secure it first, it is going to be True Rippers. Again, the attackers all bunched up, grouped up towards the A bomb side. Rio is all alone. Can he hold off this push? He's got all the utility in the world. One tap God will be pushing on forward. He is the spearhead of the attack after all. Reckoning give up the site and ready themselves for a retake. Oh, deadly.
That was a dirty shot from Deadly, and it shows why he's one of the most promising players for the side of Reckoning. As even with the spike going down, things are going to be so rough because Rio, he has that Hunter's Fury, and Ember was already so tagged up there. He's going to find two with the Hunter's Fury. Rio, how are you doing this? Just two players right now for the side of True Rippers, trying to keep things together as Sai steps up huge. Crosshair and Sai cleaning things up, and suddenly things are falling apart for Reckoning. They had the advantage, they had timer on their side, but that push forward, True Rippers are going to punish them for it in hardcore style as they get the 10th round. And what a round that was. CCV, like seesawing back and forth. The first pick, that first shot from Deadly, that ultimate from Rio getting 2, but after that, Reckoning, they get a little bit too overeager. They get hungry for more kills, and well, Crosshair and Sai, they punish them for it. That pull off that 2v5 to take True Rippers to double digits.
Yes, they do. True Rippers have reached the objective double digits. They have the 3-round lead against the heads of Reckoning, and they can hold their own heads high. But Reckoning aren't going to give up. Not at this time of the hour. With all that's happened on Ascent and on Icebox, Reckoning still need to move on forward, but they are getting decimated whenever it happens. That's the overdrive onto a one-tap guard, but I don't even think it's going to be necessary. In an instant, in about 10 seconds, the entirety of Reckoning Esports is gone, vanished from the server. Rio is the sole exception to that, but it's, I mean, him being there on the map is purely just metaphorical at this point. He's away from the bomb side. He doesn't have a care in the world what's going on towards C or B or what the attackers are doing. He wants to save that Vandal. He wants to save his life. True Rippers now definitely get their 11th.
Ooh, this is bad, really bad for Reckoning right now because things are falling apart. It's not hopeless because, you did see the similar kind of Icebox from 11 to 7. That's exactly why they came back from on Icebox. But True Ripper, they're not making the same mistakes on this attacking half. And Rio, well, he's trying to desperately save this rifle because the economy is not good at all right now for Reckoning. And this hero rifle which he has, it's going to be what they base the rest of the buy around. You can see the players deciding to buy or what they're going to buy, and yep, that's going to be the timeout called by Bad Love here because this is the last round. If they do opt to go in for a force buy here, they have to win it because if they don't, True Rippers are going to have a free path towards match point and ultimately series point. They can't afford to lose this round, and this is what the map of Haven hinges around. Reckoning, they're usually so strong on this particular map, especially with the agent comp that they're running, but it seems like after the last few times or last few games where there's been a lot of agent switching, right? Like you saw Harsh on the Initiator, now you're seeing him on the Cypher, and of course Bad Love going from the Chamber to the Killjoy to now the KO. It seems like the players from Reckoning are having some trouble adapting. Deadly is a dangerous player, Rio is a great IGL, but just two players, it's not going to be enough unless the rest of the team does step up, and unless Bad Love and Harsh, they both manage to do better on this defense, because right now both of those are the players who are going down right off the bat. It's looking really unfortunate for the side of Reckoning, and unless they can mount a comeback and pull things together, I don't know, man. This seems like it's going to be a True Rippers win.
Seems to be that way. Reckoning, yeah, they've got the last stride. They have, made comebacks from, I mean, we've already seen them, from, it was, I think an 11-5. Yeah, it was an 11-5 that True Rippers were on, or an 11-6, or something along the lines of that. Reckoning Esports, they came back. Now, True Rippers 11-7. This round, very influential. Decides the course of the next round. True Rippers, if they lose this, they'll have enough money to go for a full buy. But if Reckoning lose this round, the round loss bonus, each player will be receiving 2,900 credits to their name. But will it still be enough to justify, whatever they have saved to go for rifles, full armor? Already, it's a very weak buy that they have. They've got two ultimates. You have, Cypher, and he can get plenty of information with the neural theft. You've got the null command as well, but you need to be in great positions to use said ultimates. True Rippers, in the meanwhile, they're holding their ground. They're not pushing forward. Look at these attackers. Look at how far back they're playing, holding these angles, waiting if Reckoning want to make a move, but the defenders have no such intentions for the time being.
That is the case, and it seems like yet again this pressure being put towards C. It's going to, trigger some kind of a rotation. Deadly, the sole man trying to hold down the A4. He does have pixels for backup, and he's going to connect the shot. Gets two for his troubles as he plays aggressively and is rewarded for it. But look at Bad Love as well. He's walked his way up, and off the back of that, this round, it's turned around in favor of Reckoning. The right click trying to go in the favor of Master, but he's still able to retrieve it. And he's in a 1v3 right now to try and clutch it out. Has to deal with his judge. Pixels, yep, he's got to get the shot. You can't deal with the judge when it's right in front of your face, and that's exactly what poor Master couldn't handle. Off the back of heroics from Deadly and Bad Love, Reckoning get off another round and they stay alive in this fight. And these were some clean shots. The first you can expect. The second was unbelievable. And of course, the players from the side of True Rippers were so hungry for the refrag, for the trade, that they did not check their corners. And that's what happens when you don't check your corners. It happens everywhere between Iron and Radiant, as you can see. So that's a lesson for you. Always check your corners. But in the meantime, look at the ultimates. Both of these teams are jumping in them, are thriving in them. And, especially I think one ultimate that you want to watch out for is the Rolling Thunder. Master did get it the last time around, and it might be pivotal as they try to yet again go in for this A side take. The fault line already catching two players. One tap God has to check this corner though. He will be rewarded. And off the back of that Rolling Thunder, two players from Reckoning are already going down, and with that True Rippers, they have the side.
They do. They've got side control. Reckoning Esports on the retake. They want to delay the spike from getting planted as long as they can. Null command still in effect, suppressing the attackers. And the attackers, they're getting picked off one by one. Bad Love takes another soul. Neon is gone. And how do True Rippers proceed further from here? They've got ultimates. I mean, the Tour de Force really valuable here for Crosshair, but he needs to be in great positioning. From the shadows, it's a risky play to go for it if you are even planning to do something along the lines of that. The Paranoia hits them. Crosshair strikes when needed. There is now only Crosshair alive. He's holding the angle. He wants to isolate another gunfight. Yes, he does. In the corner. Oh my god, he pulls it off. 3 kills towards the end. And Crosshair every single time. 4K after 4K after 4K. The lord of these multi-kills in front of us.
God, that was a 2v3 retake. Reckoning had all the cards in play, but Cross had that micro movement to dodge the 0 point from the KO. After that, the peak off the back of that paranoia from his teammate, and the way he was able to reposition and clutch out that 1v2, that was a master class in how to play Chamber. And with that, it's going to be True Rippers on match point and series point. Yet again, Reckoning, they're struggling here. They have to win these 4 rounds to take us to an overtime, and there is a possibility. This is a team that can dig deep when they have to, but the question is, can they do it now? True Rippers, they don't want to mess this up. They don't want to give away the advantage because they're going to be waiting with some patience. Deadly peeks out but is not expecting Crosshair to be up there, and he's not going to be able to connect the pick. He's still playing aggressively though. Deadly playing such a dangerous game here. If he's not able to connect those blades with precision, well, that's going to be very, very rough for him, because right now he is one of the main reasons why Reckoning is still in this fight, and he needs to desperately stay alive for things to work out here, as he's still going to be holding down A long. True Rippers, they haven't really decided to go anywhere yet. It seems like they do want to go in for that A side, and yep, Deadly finally will connect the Blade Storm, gets the shot onto Crosshair, and with that, he's going to be making the safe decision and falling back, not getting a little bit too overeager. And of course, we have the judge in the garage. One tap God, if he's not careful, if they decide to go for this garage, well, Pixels, he's going to make them pay for it.
They are aware that someone may be behind the doorway. Do they face check the angle? Yes, they do. And one tap God. Yeah, like you said, he has to pay the price. True Rippers again. They are struggling. Reckoning Esports. They've got, total control of this map. Look at Rio. Simple yet elegant peek from his side. Going for the second as well. Now he gets dinged, but there is no time for True Rippers. Ember has been spotted. The shock dart will be taking his life. He has no other choice. Now it's Deadly 10 with the double up draft. Oh, beautiful shot. Master. 1 versus 5. Surely he can't pull this off. Not from this one angle that he has. Deadly 10 pushes. easy right click. And that is Reckoning Esports getting their 9th, but they have 3 more rounds to win in consecutive fashion before we go into overtime.
Flawless.
Oh god, that is such an insanely close game, and Reckoning, they're not giving up without a fight. If they keep this up, they're going to be able to take it to overtime. And Deadly, he was so huge that a 3K on the round, and it all started with him. You know, even though he gets spotted out by Crosshair, he's not afraid to reaggress and re-peek, and ultimately, he's rewarded for that particular pick. He's the monster that the side of True Rippers, they have to take down before they can really win a round. Every round where Deadly stays alive, Reckoning usually managed to win it. I've noticed that. And you look at him, 22 and 16, the prodigy of the team here, doing so much to keep their dreams alive. But now they have to watch out for Crosshair and his tour de force, because that's one weapon with Crosshair has done so much single-handed damage to this particular team. And oh my god, they know Rio likes to play that. They expect his position, and off the back of that beautiful fall line and ult, Sai is going to immediately find the better of him. That's the IGL down for Reckoning, and with that, it seems like they are going to be going in for that A hit. One tap god already having control of the site is going to be able to dash in, and it seems like the spike could go down any second. Deadly is still alive though, so that's at least one bright sign in Reckoning's arsenal. But apart from that, True Rippers, if they can succeed in this post plant, if they can complete this well, that's going to be the game and the series for them.
Yeah, and for True Rippers, Ember is on the flank. Earlier, he was holding the attacker spawn, waiting for any flank inside of Reckoning. There is no backstab, so now the Omen is ready. The defenders, they converge into the bomb side, but they're getting picked off one by one, and that's that. Master one-tap god, 2 kills each to their name. True Rippers, 2 maps to their name, and they may as well be one of the 2 teams moving on forward from the first qualifiers into the group stages. Boy, what a way to end things off. That was something right there. Reckoning Esports, tough luck, but nah, they will have to play again in the second qualifiers if they want to have a shot of going into the group stages. But a huge congratulations to True Rippers for finally securing this best of 3.
I'm sorry, I was muted. But yeah, like I was saying, from True Rippers, from their domination on Ascent to the fact that they lost on Icebox in such a depressing way, all kudos to Reckoning. They made that comeback with full power and of course with a lot of versatility. But nevertheless, the fact that True Rippers, they were able to pull back and reset on Haven. You know, it's not just Icebox that they had to deal with. They also had to deal with the fact that they were 0-5 in that first half, and they come back from that. They finish it off, get it to a 6-6, and then finally they're able to take it forward and win this map. And they were so strong on an attack that especially you have to give kudos to One Tap God for being able to know exactly why the players from Reckoning play on that A side and compartmentalize on that, especially this last round. The fact that they know time and time again that Rio, he likes to play aggressive down long, that Deadly likes to play with them, that if they do get the fault line there, it's going to be Rio stuck and caught by that Hunter City. That was perfection. I don't know who the IGL is for True Rippers. I think that it's Sai, but whoever it is, that is some fantastic shot calling, and they're going to be absolutely rewarded for it. And of course, Reckoning, it was a nice try to them, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see them back in Qualifier too. But really, they made a lot of mistakes today. Very, very careless plays. They did manage to pull it together on Icebox, but on Haven, especially on the attack, on the defensive side, they just weren't able to hold down any of the sites. They gave away picks so many times. Either Deadly went huge and they won the round, or Deadly did not go huge and they lost the round. That's exactly what it came down to during most of these rounds. And well, while Deadly is an immensely talented player, you can't expect him to carry the weight of an entire team. And I think that was the biggest problem which Reckoning faced during the defensive half.
Nice too. No matter, you know, how much Deadly was doing all by himself, still the team needed to step up. And unfortunately for their side, it wasn't just overall what could be. They tried, they gave it their best, but this time they got outed by the likes of True Rippers. And yeah, excellent performance from their side as well. Even True Rippers, you know, there were mistakes, there were times where Reckoning were looking so much more in control. But True Rippers, they persevered through for the long amount of time. Even after the setbacks that were there, after the events of the map of Icebox, you know, after giving up that 11-7, losing that map 13-11, I was sure that True Rippers, you know, they would not be in the best of mental states, and definitely had affected them. But they were able to shake off all such feelings. And as soon as Haven started, even though the start wasn't the best, they converted it into a map win. They made sure they'll be the ones moving on forward into the semi-finals of the qualifier. All that remains is one more best of three, and then True Rippers, they will be joining the four invited teams, in the entirety of the group stage of the Challenger Series, where every team playing for that prize pool of 15 lakh rupees.
That is the case. And of course, that's going to be something to watch out for. With this victory, it's going to be True Rippers who are one step closer to it. They are just one more best of three away from locking in their spot. All they have to do is beat Revenant. And I say it like that's all they have to do, but that's not going to be an easy thing at all. But they've done it before. And both Revenant and True Rippers, they're teams that definitely have a history against each other. So that's going to be a fantastic match to watch tomorrow. But as for today, you really have to give it to Reckoning. A lot of these
Yeah.
rounds, it was so close to just sliding into the favor of True Rippers, but they always managed to come back. They always managed to pull it together, especially this particular round where Deadly and Bad Love, the reposition, the aggression, it completely paid off for them. But unfortunately, apart from that, they weren't able to do much. And they kept trying to do the same thing for results. This play towards A-Long where Rio and Deadly tried to make things work multiple times. It worked once, it worked twice, and maybe it works 3 times. But of course, after that, True Rippers, they're not a stupid team. They're going to catch on. And that's exactly what happened there. It was finally 13-9, but it was a close map. It wasn't an easy win, but nevertheless, the win is going to be going in the favor of True Rippers. And look at this crossfire from their players. They know exactly where Reckoning are going to be channeling in through, and they managed to make it work. What a round. What a game for both of these teams.
Absolutely. Amazing, amazing performance from both the sides, really equally deserving. I'd said this before as well. No matter who took the win, both the teams are deserving of it. And right now, the side of True Rippers, they were deserving of this win here on Haven. And overall, in the best of three, Crosshead, 23 kills, 14 deaths. You would argue that someone like One Tap God being at the forefront of all attacks, of all defenses, being the only duelist, would have had it would have needed a better performance from his side. And definitely I have to agree with that a bit, but still he gave the best fight. And One Tap God was a lot more prevalent for the side of True Rippers early on Ascent and Icebox as well. Right now, Crosshair was able to pull a lot more of that weight. And then, of course, you have Master, you have Sai, Ember, everyone did that work. It was a full-on team effort, and only then did True Rippers manage to secure the dub for their side. Average combat score 283 for Crosshair, 285 for Deadly 10, nearing the 300s in such a close match as well. Goes to show, and these guys, they were not going to be stopping anytime soon. Whatever angle it was, they were going to be peaking it. They did peak, they were successful most of the times. And yeah, it was just an all-out just warfare between them.
I think that one more thing that you need to consider was the fact that I don't know. I'm very dubious about their pick of Cypher on this particular map. Like, I agree, he's a
True.
great sentinel, but when you have agents like Chamber with the kit that they give you for raw firepower, or just a Killjoy, which even if it's regional, even if it's used in a particular, it can only cover one site or maybe B site along with it. It still gives you so much more power. Like the ultimate by itself, it's so valuable for these retakes. I think that. Usually Harsh has more impact on the Cypher, but perhaps he was tired out by the first 2 games and he just wasn't able to perform to the caliber that we've seen him capable of before. I went and looked up some interesting stats, and most of the time RG lose Haven. It's usually when they run a Cipher instead of a Chamber. Whenever they put Bad Love on the Chamber, or even like they used to the Killjoy, they usually end up taking this map. But this time around, unfortunately, I believe that maybe they just weren't prepared for it. Maybe they were tired after the first 2 map, but the same kind of the same kind of composure that you saw from all of their players on Icebox, that really wasn't present on Haven. You saw it from Deadly and I guess Rio, but mostly just Deadly. The rest of the players, they were not able to really hold that together. It was a nice try from them for sure. And they made it close, and they made True Rippers fight for every single round that they got, every single kill that they got. They fought so hard, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't a team fight because True Rippers, they played as a team and they managed to win as a team. But at least on Haven, the same kind of coordination or team play was just completely missing from the Reckoning players, and that's something that they'll have to work on heading into this qualifier too. I think that they still do have a really good chance of qualifying that they probably will, but apart from if they don't work on these things, well, who knows what might happen. But congrats to True Rippers,
Yeah.
GG for them,
Mhm.
and we're looking forward to seeing their match tomorrow with Revenant.
Absolutely. But again, that's tomorrow as well. Right now, here at the Esports Club as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Loco as well on our channel, make sure you're following us. Make sure you are subscribed. 8 p.m. IST, just in a little over half an hour. We'll be going live with our second match of the day. It is going to be Lethal Esports up against QQQ. Another highly anticipated matchup. QQQ making a lot of waves with the roster. They have very known players as well. Every single time they change their team name up against the Giants and the upcoming team with the likes of Lethal. It's going to be another best of three, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Follow the Esports Club on all our socials as well. Of course, we have the Challenger Series for Valorant going on. We have many, many other esports titles, and this series is moving forward. If you are a fan of esports in general, this is the home of Indian esports. Make sure you are following all the games, your favorite players, your favorite teams, your favorite titles, whatever it is. And if you want to get into esports as well, or if you're just interested in gaming, you can go down in the description, get yourself some AMD Ryzen powered laptops. Again, top of the line stuff, really excellent gaming performance. They're mobile as well, not as bulky as desktop PCs. You can take them anywhere, you can enjoy, you can game with them. If you're looking for the best operating system, Windows 11 has you covered. And speaking of operating systems, those have to load fast as well, right? Because they're operating systems. And in order for them, and in order for all of your games to load in the fastest manner possible, get yourself some SSDs from Crucial. Again, all the links are in the description. If you want to enjoy more gaming, Loco has you covered for the time being. But for now, here at the Esports Club, we'll be taking a short break. We'll be back with our next best of three very, very shortly. But till then, take care and bye-bye.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistics.